The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this fighting Gunther next Saturday, Tuesday. This show starts now. Sports are happening all around us, and we're so incredibly lucky and thankful that we get to talk about them every single day. Obviously, there's NFL news that are always popping off, and today we have a couple general managers joining us. Brandon Beane of the Buffalo Bills will join us in about 20 minutes. You might know him from running the Buffalo Bills. You might know him from, the draft that he just did this past weekend. You might also know him from a local radio hit that he did yesterday with Jeremy and Joe up there, where he said, "I'm about sick of you guys bitching about wide receivers. Did we not just put up 30 points? Why are you guys upset? In 2018, you guys wanted me to draft Josh Rosen over Josh Allen. Okay, so now we're doing the same thing." Brandon Beane is a human who happens to be a friend of the program, who also happens to be one of the best team builders, I think, that there is in the National Football League. Has his team won the Super Bowl? No. But they're certainly working every day to get there. He'll chit-chat with us in about 19 minutes. I can't wait to get his take on everything that happened during the NFL draft. And in the second hour, we got Les Snead.
Ooh, okay.
Les Snead, Los Angeles Rams general manager, will join us as well. We're going to have a conversation about baseball at the end of the show. Jeff Passan's going to join us fresh off of his Monday Night Raw appearance last night. Him and the Passan boys looked like they had an absolute play. "Oh, let's go," he said. OTC. Okay.
Yep.
OTC. I thought he was giving a heart there a little bit. He did acknowledge his tribal chief, which I respect and appreciate. Had great seats, and last night was a great show. Great show last night. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. I feel like they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be a problem. How about Becky Lynch just saying, "Yeah, I jumped Bailey. So what? Deal with it."
Crazy.
Yeah. So I could be tag team with Lyra Valkyria, and then I would attack Lyra Valkyria. Becky Lynch, literally in a matter of 2 moves, boom, 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 was a champ again. She's back now. She's at the top gun for the title. It's like super genius type stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, she and Seth freaking Rollins could be scheming at all times around their child that they have together and their family while they're cooking. And also, I forced SmackDown's version of Adam Pearce, Mr. Otis, who former champion in his own right, handsome lad, great middle manager, to allow me to fight Gunther, which I will be doing next Saturday at Backlash. So last night was electrifying. Last night was fantastic. And last night I got to tell the world that guy sitting down there next to me, he's the GOAT. And if you want a piece of him, you're going to have to go through me. Now, Gunther is a beast. Yeah, Gunther is a dog.
Sure. Yeah.
Gunther's in his prime. Gunther literally only spends moments of his life trying to beat up other people. So while I'm here talking about sports, having a good time with the boys, following along with everything else, all Gunther's doing is preparing to hurt people. I understand that. But what he needs to know is I ain't no... What Mike McCarthy said?
No.
Yeah. This ain't no... Okay, especially if you're going to mess with the GOAT, who happens to be one of my best friends. I don't think so. So his ban has been lifted, and we have a match now in St. Louis at Backlash. And I saw his response. He put a little laughy face at it. It's like, "Okay, Gunther. Okay, Bob. Listen, I understand you got an incredibly strong jawline. I understand your presence is wild. But I want to let you know, been hitting my chest with bamboo.
That's right.
Been hitting my chest with bamboo since last Monday, thinking that this was possible. Just been banging bamboo off of my chest like I'm Karate Kid getting this thing ready." He is a guy that likes to thump.
Oh, yeah.
He is a chopper, a slapper, a puncher. He is a meaty man that's not scared to beat you down. Well, guess what? I could become that too. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Huh? I punched that punching machine over there. Game Buster.
Harder than ever.
harder than anybody in the history of the world.
That's right.
I saw some guy on the internet hit one of these things at a weight room. I don't know if you saw this guy. He looked like he was, 290, completely jacked up. He got all jacked up about a 915 or something like that. It was like, 915's fun. Me and Bruce do that left-handed, in this entire thing.
Shoot.
So if he wants to go ahead and get into the chop world, I think I'm going to work some of those as well. Because you can turn a knockout punch, which I have one. I don't have titanium in here, but this thing has been around town a couple times.
Sure.
It just opened that thing up. What if what if I didn't even know in my preparation of going through in this chop world, and maybe I got an okay one as well? We're gonna find out. There's a chance I get my ass kicked out there. Certainly is. But just know that I'd rather get my ass kicked for standing up for my friend than to be a coward and back away whenever some bully comes in and starts messing with a 60-year-old goat. So I'm excited. Last night was awesome in Kansas City. Great crowd.
Yeah.
Great
crowd.
Yeah.
In the home of the Chiefs. They went with me.
They did.
I didn't know if I had to. I got to really hit the rhythm here, They went completely. There's a lot of signs around there. I enjoyed the hell out of Kansas City last night. Very thankful. As we continue on the wild world of professional wrestling, lucky to be a part of the WWE. This Friday, I will be live from New York Times Square.
Okay.
The Ring will be putting on a fight. I think you've heard about it. Mm-hmm. There's 5 fights actually happening in Times Square. I'll be doing a nice solo ISO setup from there doing it. I think we're going to have some special guests. I think a lot of people are coming through. And just the thought of being able to do a show live from Times Square, I said, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fun on Friday, getting in the boxing world. Yeah, in the Big Apple. Mm-hmm. Friday, May 2nd, in the Big Apple, in Times Square, with one of the biggest boxing events of all time. Is it the biggest card of all time? No, Garcia's on there, though.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he
right.
is.
Garcia's on there, and I think he's just...
He's good again.
I think he's just like Ryan Garcia, just a human.
Normal
I think he's
guy.
just Ryan
Normal
Garcia.
guy.
Sure.
Best camp of his life.
Sure.
Yeah, best camp.
What do you mean, sure?
Sure.
Sure he is.
He's not doing all
He had the most insane camp I've ever seen. He had the most wild promo that I've ever seen. He won. And
Bet on himself.
that certainly was an interesting dynamic. Because whenever you see people crash out appear publicly, especially in a fight game, you think to yourself, this person's got no chance.
Yeah.
Because the other person has not been crashing out. And instead, Ryan Garcia, public crash out seemingly through the entire promo, and then he wins the fight. It was like, whoa, was that a work? Was that all? Was that all work? Was that all for promo? I'm not sure. This one, fully focused. Obviously, it's Times Square. There's going to be memorable moments. There's going to be memorable shots. And I'm lucky enough that I'm going to be, right there, I guess, standing right next to the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be a fun time. The Talks at Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone is here. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here.
Yes, sir.
We'll be talking football, obviously, with the GMs, but there's other sports taking over right now. Con Man, last night, you said you watched all of the NHL?
Yeah, Panthers Lightning. It was probably one of the best hockey games I've seen in a long time. That wasn't Four Nations and wasn't a Bruins game. It's 1-0, and Ekblad for the Panthers, who's just coming back off a 20-game suspension. He buries Hagel. No penalty called. John Cooper, the head coach of the Lightning, pissed off. Lightning respond in a big way, score twice in, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And John Cooper, who is an NHL hockey coach, and as we know, NHL players, they don't show much emotion in general. John Cooper loses his shit on the bench after they score this second goal to go up 2-1. Boom! Fist bumps.
Boom!
That's right. He's yelling, that's right, bitch, basically.
That never happens in hockey.
Never happens, especially a guy like
I love it. We need more of this.
Yeah, incredible. And then, unfortunately for John Cooper, then the Cats come back. They score twice in about 15 seconds to win the game. Ekblad with the first one, who kind of started this entire thing with his hit on Hagel. And then right off the next face-off, they come down, score again, 3-2. They get an empty netter. Panthers win 4-2. This is a muffin. I mean, you got to save this. You can't really let a goal like that go in. But when Marchand is in front of you, it's hard not to get distracted. But it was a hell of a night for hockey. And then the Stars beat the piss out of the Avalanche again right off the opening faceoff. They go down. Another muffin just kind of squeaks by for the Stars, and they go up 1-0. Right here it is. Bang. That's 9 seconds into the game.
Can't have it.
Can't have it. Stars win 6-2.
Ain't there, barn?
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah,
exactly.
can't have
Crowd
that
going.
happen. Maybe Texas hockey isn't terrible, Gumps.
No, we're rolling now. Rantanen scored his first goal for us. Our big trade deadline acquisition used to play for the Colorado Avalanche. Legend. He got rolling. we're looking to get a couple guys back as well. Let's hope we can finish this off Thursday night in Colorado.
Okay, so currently the Panthers are up 3-1 over the Lightning. We saw that. The Stars are up 3-2 over the Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche were being discussed as a team that could maybe win the Stanley Cup, which is why people were hoping that Sidney Crosby would get traded over there.
Yeah, very similar to the NBA. The West for hockey is all 2-2 or 3-2 now that the Stars have played. In the East is all 3-1. So the Western Conference very tight. The Eastern Conference not as much.
Okay, so Wild at Golden Knights tonight, 9:30 ESPN, series tied 2-2. Oilers at Kings tonight at 10 p.m. on TBS. That is tied 2-2. Devils will take on the Hurricanes, 7:30 on TBS. Canes are up 3-1, can put them away. And then the Maple Leafs are at home taking on the Senators at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Leafs are up 3-1. They could put it away. So a lot on the line tonight in the NHL. Can't wait to continue to follow along with the NHL playoff action, which is spectacular. And now let's talk about the NBA that's in the middle of its playoff run. Jimmy Butler's back.
Well,
D-Butt.
Yep.
The Warriors of old are the Warriors of today. Steph goes for 38 the other day. He's playing like old school Steph. Jimmy Butler's back after a little bit of an injury. Is this team the team of the West that people need to talk about?
I mean,
what is going on in the NBA?
You got to fear him. You got to have a healthy fear of him. Whenever Steph can have, the lack of offensive output that he had last night and still find a way to get a win. It was a great game too. I think they need to find another consistent scorer. If you're the Rockets, outside of Şengün, who's an absolute monster, a dog. Jimmy Butler just kind of took over this game. You can tell he's not 100% healthy. Q Rich said it yesterday. If he misses a game, he's truly injured, but he came back, he battled, and he kind of, just took control of the game late in the fourth quarter. Steph still did his thing, but yeah, the Warriors are a formidable opponent. Any night they go out there and they can definitely win it if everybody, plays their type of ball.
Jimmy Butler wanted out of Miami.
Boy,
well, a lot of people are going to be getting out of Miami, I think. Yeah. Cavs blow out the Miami Heat in the first round of the playoffs.
Ugly.
And they end it with a 128-83 dub in the playoffs. Jeez. Game 4. This was I turned the game on last night as I got home late, where I was watching maybe SportsCenter highlights. I forget what it was, maybe SportsCenter highlights, and they showed the score. And it was
like 60-20. It's
insane.
But yeah,
in the first quarter, probably
30-8.
Yeah,
in the first quarter.
It was
all right. I'm not watching this.
It was like, what the hell? This is not what I thought basketball in the playoffs could be. This Cleveland team is a real deal.
Real deal. And whenever you can get a sweep and obviously get some rest, because they're kind of banged up, so when you have extra days off, pays huge dividends for teams. And 122 points, I believe, was the margin in this series, and I believe that is an NBA record. So we let Jimmy walk. It was that relationship. It kind of got to the point where both sides needed to go their separate ways. But I think Bam said it after the game. It's going to be some big changes in Miami with how Pat Riley usually does business.
Yeah, that Giannis thing we talked about yesterday. It does feel like more so than ever Miami will be in on that. But Cavs Pacers. If the Pacers win tonight, that series is set. That's kind of the one in the East now that is the biggest one, of course, because the Pacers, they run and gun, and then the Cavs, they've just been dominating teams, and the Cavs are kind of like the Celtics. They're a little banged up, so the Pacers could, as cool of a story the first round is. Pacers come in, they run and gun. They might run away with it against the Cavs. I'm going to have a rematch in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, and who would that be?
Pacers-Celtics.
Oh, the Pacers made the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I forgot about that. Nobody seems to talk about that ever. The Boston Celtics are untouchable. Okay. Hey, maybe. Cleveland Cavaliers, they're the team of this season. Hey. Maybe.
Chance.
New York Knicks, they got the most clutch player of the year in Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart, obviously, they're in the big out. Here we go. They're a team. Okay. Miami Heat, they're dealing with Jimmy Butler, whose team might not even be okay. Is anybody going to talk about the Indiana Pacers?
No. Doesn't seem like it.
Is anybody going to talk about the team that has only gotten better as the season's went on? Literally, maybe not that great at the beginning, and I think Tyrese Halliburton would be a big part of that. Beginning of the season, for whatever reason, Tyrese couldn't find a bucket. Tyrese just wasn't Tyrese Halliburton. Then he doesn't get selected to the All-Star game. He takes a break, and I think during that break, he went to work. And then on the other side of that, this Pacers team, led by Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Spicy P, TJ McConnell, and Coach Rick Carlisle and the boys, they have gone on a run. epic. In February, I think they had the most wins in the entire NBA. That continues into March, obviously into April now. It's like this Pacers team's hot. They're playing their best ball. They play physical. They play flashy. They can shoot it. They can get in. They can get underneath. They got guys that are willing to fight people. It's like the Pacers are a real deal, brother. Like that is just.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we're speaking about it because we're in Indianapolis, and Tyrese Halliburton, friend of the program and everything like that, actually FaceTimed me and Michael Cole like a minute before we were live on Raw, and he said, "Is this going to be a good show?" It's like,
see ya.
yeah, it is going to be a good Raw tonight, Tyrese. But he's been hella-balling, and the Pacers have been damn good. And if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals yet again, and we spend another full offseason or another season not showing them any respect, I'm going to be upset about it, D-Butt. I want to let you know that.
They're undeniable. And Halliburton, he is unbelievable. I think the best just true, kind of old school point guard in the game right now as far as keeping everybody involved. And just the pace that they play at. Like, that's tough to run up and down with them. Everybody's always involved. The ball doesn't stick with one guy. It's not just sitting there like, like a James Harden or a Luka where you're pounding the ball. The ball's always moving. Guys are cutting. Guys are catching alleys. And then defensively, they're playing defense. And Miles Turner, if he can continue to protect the rim like he's doing, they can definitely go out and beat anybody. I'm curious who Connor would rather face.
Well,
Pacers or the Cavs when it came down to
the Celtics are banged up. Drew Holiday hasn't played, and he's not playing tonight, so it's 3 straight games with a hamstring. Tatum's got his wrist, so that's not as big of a concern. And Jaylen Brown's got the knee. And the Pacers just sprint up and down the court. Like, I personally would rather play the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially after last year. Like,
if you're banged up, you're saying.
If you're banged up, and last year you can say, well, the Celtics swept the Pacers. Like, you go back and look at that.
We were supposed to win 3 of those.
It should have been 2-2. Yeah, it should have been
inbound pass, a dribble, there was a ghost on the court. I have no idea. That might have been Kuzi.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have no idea who it was.
That's Bob, baby.
I mean, there was a lot of things that happened where the Pacers, the way that season ended, they weren't allowed to be happy with what they did. Just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody thought they were going to make it to the Eastern Conference Final. They trade for Spicy P middle of the season. He fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, he really takes them to the next level, let alone TJ McConnell and everything he's done for the city since getting here in the team and everything. And he's not scared of moxie and swag right in people's faces. I think he lifts the grit level up in the way Carlisle expects them.
Yeah.
Carlisle expects them, hey, we don't got egos around here. This is how we're rolling. It's like the Pacers are a fun team and a good team for the state of Indiana.
Well, and that's the thing about the Pacers, too, is like last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're young, right? First time there. This year would be, hey, we've been here before. We know what this is like versus the Cavs. The Cavs haven't been there. So for the Celtics playing the inexperienced team, you would just rather do that.
I'm happy to watch the NBA playoffs become what it's becoming. I saw a lower third headline. Do the Lakers have what it takes to win a championship this year? It's like they're down 3-1 and they played everybody the entirety of the second half in the last game. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for I think it's going to be tough for the Los Angeles Lakers. With that being said, is Luka up now? Or is Luka back next year?
I thought he had one more year. I thought he was eligible for
one more year
for the Supermax.
Because Supermax max contract conversation was the big one over in Dallas, and then there was people that were like, "Well, what if Luka ends up leaving LA to potentially go play somewhere else? How will this all be viewed in the grand scheme of the trade down the road?" So if Luka's back next year, we're going to assume LeBron's going to be back next year. J.J. Redick's back for another year of coaching. Their culture is seemingly already set in. You would think that the culture is set in. Maybe the Lakers will be set up for success next year, but it doesn't feel like this is the year for them. But what do I know?
Still plus
over yet?
1,100.
Yeah, it's not over.
What is it?
Plus 1,100
To win the series?
for them to win the series still.
Yeah, and I mean, LeBron James has done this before.
Oh, yeah.
And Luka Doncic can do this to anybody.
He's done it before, too.
Yeah, and it's like maybe they do just come back, backs against the wall, have to win, no more mistakes, let's do this. And J.J. Redick says, yeah, we're not subbing for the full game. You thought one half was
Boom.
You thought one half was a lot. Wait till the boys are playing the whole damn game. He looked down on his bench a couple times and he said, "I'm disgusted." Walked right back out on the court. I'm thinking that J.J. Redick, while he was playing, because I think he made the playoffs like 10 of the 11 years.
Yeah, he had that crazy run.
There was some stat that he had where he made the playoffs a bunch as a player. If he was on a team, they were going to make the playoffs for some reason. Maybe he's a pretty good little team guy. Maybe he's a pretty good coaching guy. Maybe he pretty much understands basketball pretty good. So whenever he was hired as a head coach, maybe it isn't just because he drinks wine on a podcast. Maybe this guy was supposed to be a coach.
Yeah, maybe.
In this entire thing. But there's definitely been games where he's been sitting on the court and a coach has made a decision to sub somebody out and he's going, the fuck's that going to do? How is that going to help us? And in his mind, that crawled back up the other night, and he said, I've always wondered if this is the right move. Turns out those last couple minutes, that's going to be tough, especially whenever you're taking on a guy like Ant, who seemingly always has energy, and a former defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert, who elbows you in the back of the head once you're already a little bit exhausted. You could tell they were tired at the very end of that game. Now, will they be able to recover? We assume science will be able to get them for that. But the question of, does this, it does look good. Does not look good for Los Angeles Lakers this year. Does not mean that the Luka trade is a terrible failure. It just means them boys look tired. And if they're able, was that a part of the thing that Nico was saying? I don't even want to get into that. Like, what Nico take a celebration lap saying?
For sure.
He played a whole half, couldn't even play the next game. Remember you saw that? Oh, isn't that interesting? So much drama. The NBA is showing up for us, though. Let's go to the NFL. And congrats to friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, George Kittle.
Baby George.
George Kittle just signed a new 4-year deal, $76.4 million in total, 19.1, which is 0.1 more than the second highest paid tight end. He has $40 million guaranteed, $35 million at signing. He got that literally today as he signed. $5 million in 2027 coming. Congratulations to George, and congratulations to the Bussin' with the Boys down there in Nashville, breaking the news. Now, with that being said, the NFL did not give them credit.
No, they did not.
Whoa! I believe there were some other people that did not give them credit. Welcome to Thunderdome. They'll yell at us about journalism, Dill. Remember that? Because we're just the dumb jocks. They'll yell at us about all the shit, but they operate in a much... There's a different set of rules, seemingly, for them,
That's
Will.
bullshit.
And Taylor, seemingly a different set of rules for everybody. But with that being said, George Kittle has earned this. There were stats that were coming out about George Kittle last season. First in yards per game, second in touchdowns, third in yards, fifth in receiving. Did we talk about the Niners or George Kittle at all last year?
No.
Yeah, he's first in yards per game at tight end. Now, obviously, this has Travis Kelce having a downer year last year and everything else like that, but Brock Bowers broke some rookie records. Well, he didn't come close to what Kittle was, and now he's making 19.1. Trey McBride just signed last week. He's at $19 million. Travis Kelce now seemingly underpaid, even though he signed his deal last offseason. TJ Hawkinson, 16.5. Dallas Goedert at $14.25 million. Hey, we're happy as hell for George. I saw him at WrestleMania. He was, he's such a good positive light.
And he was jocked.
Marking out.
He's in great shape. He's in great shape.
Yes.
He even acknowledged how great a shape he was in.
He's huge.
I was like, man, you look like you're in great shape. He goes, yes, I am in very good shape right now. Yeah, I've been working out very hard. I think he is very excited for this season. I think he assumed that this deal was going to get done. There was conversation about what the deal was supposed to be worth, and he said, your sources aren't correct. It's come out that it is the highest per year. So I don't know who's going to say they're right and who wasn't right, but I'm happy George got paid over there in San Francisco.
It's crazy because you talk about the Niners and George Kittle getting talked about, and, you know, George, he did have an incredible season. Brock Bowers was first team All-Pro. George was second team All-Pro. But if your team's not good, like if the Niners were good again, Kittle, we would have talked about Kittle every single week.
Yeah.
But if your team's not good, and it's not your fault, but it's not your fault, like that's just kind of how it works. But yeah, people kind of forgot about how good George's season was. And I love when you get paid just $100,000 more than the highest paid guy. That's my favorite thing going on.
I love when there's a little pettiness amongst the agency and the general manager. Okay, put the highest paid tight ends back up there with okay, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has tight ends by the name of Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, and Zach Davidson. And they are all so good at what they do. They need to start knocking on this man's door. Ladies and gentlemen, general manager of the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane, there's a new high score at the tight end position. That's good news.
Yeah. Well, I'd say his door is locked and bolted. So congrats to the 49ers for getting him done. He's a heck of a talent.
Yeah, I mean, but if I'm Kincaid, I might want to think about getting in there early.
Yeah.
You know, I want to think about now that the tight end market is what it is.
Hey, don't be riling up my guys trying to get. Don't be doing that, buddy.
Let's talk about your team. How do you feel coming out of the draft? Obviously, in the first round, you get what seems to be the most electrifying guy in the draft room. I don't know if you saw the video. I assume you did. Literally every person that got drafted had to dap up Maxwell Hairston because he was so damn happy for him. And also, where they put his room was right next to where the tunnel would go. Obviously, he could have just sat on his couch, kept everybody like kind of behind him and not interrupted. He felt obligated, it feels like, to celebrate alongside every person that had a dream come true. I assume that was among many factors, including the fact that he's fast as shit, as why he was the guy for the Buffalo Bills for you in the first round.
Yeah, I mean that's who he is. He loves being around people. He's an energetic person. Obviously, you see his energy on the field and his speed. But I actually asked him about it. I was unaware of it till after my media that night. Somebody brought it up, and then so I saw some video, and he was just like, "No, I was right there." He goes, "I've met a lot of these guys through training and through the process along the way," and so. He was just like, man, I was genuinely happy for him. He was like, it's pretty cool, and I was in a perfect spot. They had to walk by me, and I was going to love him up. So a lot of credit to him. That's just kind of his personality. So it was cool, when he got his moment and people were dapping him up after he had done it for everyone else.
Yeah, I think if I was you, I would because nobody's asking him to do this. This is just him naturally feeling this way, and everybody else wanted to gravitate to him too. It's like for you, just to feel like, yeah, everything we thought about this guy's right. Just in that one moment, in my eyes. Whenever I saw that with everybody, I'm like, everybody likes him, and he likes everybody. That's somebody we want in the locker room. You talk about his energy. Do you think you got a bunch of guys that fit your culture? And how important is that as you're going through these picks? Because I know, later rounds, middle rounds, there's a lot going on. I don't know how many people you have on your board, but maybe the person before you took somebody that you want. How often are you scoring like fit in our culture, in our building, while making all of these picks? Or how do you kind of judge that going into the draft?
Yeah, great question. We kind of build our board that way. I mean, you start and you're building your board in the fall just off of what you're watching on film. You really haven't met these guys. You're getting background on them. You're kind of putting the puzzle together of what they are as a person, their habits, their DNA, their learns. Their medical, all that stuff that we're doing through the spring before we get to April, and so you would love it if they all check out as characters. Sometimes it's like the guy's not a bad guy. We got some work to do. His talent is in the second round. Don't love everything about him, but we think he's trending up. Maybe we drop him down a little bit and say we're going to lower the risk here if we don't like him, but we still think our culture, our building can fix him. So. All those things can weigh into where you put them on the board. But once we set that board prior to the draft, we just play off of that and we go with it. Even to your point, if someone gets we got our eye on a guy and he gets taken off right before we pick, we look to the next guy. And we kind of have those, especially when we get inside 5 picks. All right, this is choice 1, this is choice 2, this is choice 3, and beyond. And you just you get 2 picks away. You go, all right, here's choice A, here's choice B. You make the pick or you trade out.
Are you watching the feeds of the draft, and then, or do you have a phone that's just open to everybody? What is the setup in the war room?
Yeah, we have the feed. So we got a couple TVs on, NFL Network, ESPN. You got it kind of low, but you're paying attention. And then there's an open line that every team's on, and you're hearing the league run it of, they'll say Baltimore is now on the clock, and then you see their clock start. We have a clock in our room. And then as soon as they'll say pick is in, Minnesota is now on the clock. And then all of a sudden we'll get it advertised to us before it's on TV so that we can go ahead and start preparing. Again, that's 1 pick closer to our next one.
Oh, got it. So that's how picks get tipped.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how picks get tipped. If somebody with a team has it well before, especially as you go later in the draft and they're kind of coming up with their own stories, sometimes a pick's been turned in and it's 8-9 minutes before it hits TV.
We had to deal with that because, we do the internet show that you're not watching, apparently. It was good. Schrager was in there. Coach Mike McCarthy, you were on it. You joined us. You were part of it, obviously. You can't watch it. I understand. Probably tough with the tech there, too, to get YouTube up on us.
I wanted to put it on, but they told me no. I wanted to. Next year.
That's probably Boyko. Yeah, I understand. Hey,
that damn Boyko, he's a hard ass.
I get it. I thought we did a good draft show. Just for future reference. So there was some words said,
Sure. How was Mike McCarthy on there?
Hilarious. Just
really?
Absolutely. At the beginning, he was a little uncomfortable. So he wasn't understanding that TV was happening around him. So, I'd ask him a question, and then I'm pressing a button right here, right? So I press a button on the thing, and I'm talking to the back room right now. So everybody in the everybody in the back room can hear what I'm saying, right? And that's either Foxy communicating with me, Zito communicating with me communicating back with them. Oh, I want to see the film that we had here. I think there's a video of this. Zito will show me a video. I like that video. Let's do that. Let's rewind this. So that's all happening while people are talking, okay? That's just a standard show, okay? I have board here. I have one whenever I'm in at any of these places at game day. I have one whenever I'm at WWE. It happens whenever we're live on stage at the draft. And McCarthy's right here. So I ask him a question. He starts giving his answer, and I'm going immediately to the back room. And I'm going like, hey, whenever he talks about this, we need to get to this and this. And McCarthy goes, huh? Because he can hear me through the headphones.
Hey, just go, you're good, coach.
But and so I had to go, no, you're good. He goes, okay. And then he just kind of turned. Then he kind of just turned this way, so he didn't see me. So like, him being like naturally uncomfortable with like what TV or what is happening around him was like why he was so good.
Yeah.
Because he got like real comfortable, just started like telling stories, just started chit-chatting about decisions, telling stories. He's a storyteller. That guy, whenever he's done,
been around.
They will pay him to come to businesses and tell stories. And he'll get paid very, very well for that because of how good he is. But yeah, you can tell he loves football, loves the players, and he loved the draft, and he loved the trenches getting taken. He loved big dudes getting taken, which was seemingly the story of the night. AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Bean, I got to ask you about your third-round pick, Landon Jackson. He was one of the stars of the Combine, 6'6", 260, ran a 4.68, and I believe jumped 40.5, which is just absurd. Him and Shamar Stewart were the stars of the Combine. Shamar Stewart goes in the first round, even though Landon Jackson has a lot better production, 13 sacks in the last 2 years at Arkansas. Were you surprised a guy like that with that production, that athleticism, was still there in the third round?
Well, I think it's one of those. Listen, we were very happy, and I think the depth of the draft helped some guys like a Landon fall to the third, and so we tried to take advantage of it. We knew going into this draft that there was going to be depth at D tackle and D end, and even if we got someone early, which we traded up in round 2 for T.J. Sanders, if it was something still there on the D line, we weren't going to turn away from it and pivot to an offensive position or a skill position on defense. So his tape, I would say, if I was going to define him, it's relentless motor. That's what you see on him, whether it's run or pass. He's a 3-down player. Obviously had sack production that you mentioned, and just I will say he surprised me with his testing. I knew he would test well, but at 6'6", his measurements to jump 40.5 and run what he ran, that was a wow moment for me sitting in Indy.
When did you know that it was going to be a trenches first round?
Well, I just felt like the depth of this draft. I mean, those guys get paid. The game, as you know, Pat, is won and lost up front. And
we got away from that, though, don't you think? Don't you think football kind of got away from that there for a little bit?
I don't think I think people try to put it with fantasy football, but at the end of the day, if you go to who is usually hoisting the trophy, they were good up front. And you just go to this year's team. Philadelphia has had a good O-line. Howie's done a great job there. And their D-line got after the Chiefs. And that's not a new thing. I mean, I go back to the 2 Super Bowls that I've been in my time in Carolina, all the way back to 2003. We had a D-line of Julius Peppers, Chris Jenkins, Brenton Buckner, Mike Rucker. Al Wallace was our 5th, and he was a stud. Wow. And then you go to 2015, we got Charles.
He put the wall in Wallace, I remember.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like all those guys, though, it's built up front. Both of our teams, those Super Bowl years, had good O-lines and good D-line, and that's no matter how the game evolves and changes, I still think it starts in the trenches. I agree with Mike McCarthy. I think that's where it's at.
He celebrated every single one. Yeah. Listen, I don't know how many times I'm supposed to say this. I like the pick.
He palm.
He said, I need to look up different ways to say things. I like the pick.
You got his impersonation down. I like that.
Well, he said he's my dad. Yeah, I agree. He sounds exactly like he does. Basically, I don't know, 1,000 dudes that I've met in my life. So when he goes, I don't sound like that. It's like, you do?
Yes, sorry, Coach.
Yeah, this is exactly how
him meeting Matt Mill a couple hours before the show.
The whole show? You're going to... So what do you mean? And then you said to him, well, Coach, you can't win the big one down there. And he goes, geez.
So you got to shake hands.
Geez, that's what... Yeah, he said, he did one of those. Yeah, he's just like awesome. I think just from chatting with him over 24 hours, and you know all these football people, you're one of them. he's going to get back in the ball. You know, like it is. There's no questions about it.
Yeah.
Obsessed with ball.
Yeah.
What do stories revolve around? Ball. What are we comparing everything to? Ball.
The barn.
We got a barn for ball. Like everything is just about ball for Mike McCarthy. And when we were around him, I think he would have no problems relating with any generation.
Agreed.
Like, you know, like that is a real thing. And I don't want to say he was okay with leaving Dallas, but he has no hard feelings towards the people of Dallas at all, to us, unless he's one of the greatest thespians of all time, which he actually told us a story about not being an actor.
Yeah.
Because he was told, I don't even know if we can. It was a great story. Anyways, the reference to the story was somebody once told him, okay, throughout his coaching career, that they were a very good coach. They were acting like a coach, basically. That is what they were doing. They'd wake up in the morning and they would act like a coach. They were basically a professional actor. And the person then asked Big Mike McCarthy if that was his style as well. I ain't no actor, bub. You know, basically his answer. And it was like every story he told, it was like this guy is through and through. So he was a lot of fun, but he loved every trenches pick. He loved every big body that was taken. And we do too. You know, we have AQ Shipley come on the show each week and we call it In the Trenches and we do that whole thing. It's the most important part by far. I'm happy that the Philadelphia Eagles won because now I think it like legitimizes that you can be an old school football team still and win in the modern era. So I think that's only going to continue. Now, speaking of the modern era, you need weapons. A lot of weapons. Connor, New England Patriots fan, has a question for you, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Brandon, thanks for bringing up 2003. You know, those are good memories for Patriots fans.
All right.
So, you know, those you went on a radio show earlier this week, and these two fine gentlemen who I thought made some good points about, you know, the fact that you guys kind of needed wide receivers. And turns out you disagreed. Actually, you buried them and kind of let them know.
Hey, great promo on that.
It was so good.
It was a good promo.
Averaged over 30 points this past season. You know, you actually even said, hey, last offseason, if you guys brought this up, I could understand. Okay, but now bringing it up is kind of bullshit. Why didn't you draft a wide receiver, and why do you think, you know, now with where Josh is, you know, you don't really need to have that guy in that room?
Well, I mean, you look at Tom Brady. We were talking about some of these teams that won Super Bowls. Look at New England. How many like great historic receivers did they have in their Super Bowl teams? And so, but the Patriots, they were good up front. They had a good quarterback. They easily had some type of run game, whether it was Corey Dillon, whether it was Falk, White, a lot of those guys. And so there's 100 different ways you can build it, okay? And we're not against good receivers, but again, as we were talking about earlier, we want to be strong in certain. I would love to have a Pro Bowl quarterback, an All-Pro offensive line, All-Pro running backs, All-Pro receivers, but when you're paying Josh Allen what you're paying him, you got to make some concessions somewhere else. And so I think it's just, again, the narrative since we moved on from Steph a year ago. I understood it last year, as you said. I understood why people were questioning, hey, do they have enough at receiver last season? But as my point was, I thought they were kind of breaking down our draft, and that was their takeaway, was why didn't you take a receiver? That's the part I didn't understand. Like, we just showed that we could score 30 points a game for 8 straight games. We averaged over 30 points. We scored the most points of anyone last season when you include the playoffs. So why are we talking about receiver? If anything, and they didn't bring up that we had already added Josh Palmer this offseason as a free agent addition. We extended Khalil Shakir. So again, again, we like our receivers. We feel strong about our receivers, and in our opinion, it wasn't the deepest receiver class to be trying to, peg a player that would fit in our top 4.
Okay, so you said there, we're scoring 30 and we're losing. So obviously maybe it's the other side of the field that we need to chit-chat about. When do you make that decision that is what the entire offseason focus is going to be? Because I think we heard that the Atlanta Falcons were only interviewing defensive players at the Combine. And it was like, well, I guess Atlanta's loading up on D. Like, I guess that is what Atlanta's doing. And lo and behold, they trade back into the first round when everybody thought people would be trading in for a quarterback to get another defensive player. So it's like, do you know that an entire offseason is going to be shaped towards one particular side? Or how do you kind of balance that kind of, I don't want to say mission, but goal, I guess, of the free agency in combine draft season?
Well, when you look at our roster coming out of the season, Pat, we had a lot of guys on offense that were returning to their positions. I mean, our whole O-line, or top 7-8 guys on our O-line are back. Our top two tight ends are back. All 3 running backs are back. Our quarterbacks are back, and most of our receivers are back. And we did add a Josh Palmer. So again, we knew going in there's going to be more transition on defense, and we just felt we needed to kind of add some free agent depth, which we did in free agency on the D-line. We added Joey Bosa, Michael Hoyt, Larry Ogunjobi. But then we looked at the depth of the draft. And like I said, when we started in February, we felt like there was going to be a good number of D linemen that we would have an opportunity at some point early in the draft. Not necessarily first round, which we got a corner, but the next 2 picks lined up for us to take D linemen. And so we weren't going to turn away from it with the value that we had on our board.
Corner, D-tackle, D-end, D-tackle, D-tackle, tight end. Welcome to the team. $19.1 million now is the new going rate for a tight end.
Damn.
If anybody on the Buffalo Bills that plays tight ends, $19.1 million is the...
Kittle was a 5th-round pick, too.
Mm-hmm. Kittle out of Iowa. What an absolute dog. Absolute dog. Corner, D-tackle, and then wide receiver. So it's like we're loading up on the defense. I'm excited to see you kind of execute a plan. You said something there early in your answer that had Connor almost jump up out of his seats. You said you got all 3 running backs returning. Is that right? Huh?
Yes, we do. Yeah, why wouldn't we?
I don't know. I've been seeing Zillow.
What are you looking for, a house in Buffalo or what?
No, I'm not.
Place is beautiful. Buffalo.
Are you guys moving the studio to Buffalo?
Yeah. I vacation there sometimes. That's a fact.
Maybe for a month or 2. I know how cold it can get up there in Buffalo, and I do respect snow. I appreciate that. I'm comfortable where I am with snow, but Buffalo's not a bad place at all up there whenever there's sun out.
They try not to tell people about it. I mean, on the lake during the summer. Are you
Great
kidding
Lake.
Me? Yeah.
716 up there.
One of the best.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So you got all 3 running backs back?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Really?
James Cook, Ray Davis, and we brought Ty Johnson back.
Okay, Ty Johnson, hell yeah, we love that. Ray Davis, wow.
Yeah,
he was electrifying. When he was coming out of there making catches he made a catch late in the season that was
Kentucky guy.
Absurd. Yeah, Kentucky guy. I know Ray Davis. And then you're going to let James Cook there in the kitchen up there in Buffalo for a little bit. I'm happy to hear that. That's good news. We should assume that James Cook is going to be a Buffalo Bill and play Buffalo Bill football.
Yes, he will be here this year and, hopefully beyond. I mean, we're focused on this season, but yes, for 2025, we'll have all 3 backs. And again, we love James, and, we would love nothing more than to keep him here longer term. But in the immediate, point right now is we got all 3 guys, including him, back for this season.
I'll tell you what, him and Joe Brady's offense has been awesome to watch. And then obviously you pair him with Josh Allen, who is a running freak. What a combo, what an offense. We're scoring 30 points, you guys are complaining about wide receivers. Can we please relax a little bit? I asked you about when did you know what your strategy was going to be going into the draft. You said basically immediately with everybody returning. Those draft when do you know questions seem to be popping up more and more each year. D-Butt has a question for you.
Yeah, and it's a great situation when you're going into a draft and you don't have to worry about the quarterback position. We know how important the trenches are, defense and everything else, but you're not going to win the championship without the quarterback, and you got one of the best ones in the league. And obviously we just got through the draft process, but I guess when did you know, because that was a deep draft in 2018 for the quarterbacks, when did you know that Josh was probably going to be the guy you wanted to bring in and build your team around?
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time with all those guys through that process. I can remember it like it was yesterday, and it was a fun process, a stressful one, because we were sitting at 21 and 22 early in that spring, and so it's like, man, how are we going to get up there and get a guy like Josh? And he just, every step of the way, he just became more attractive to us. Beyond the physical skill set, which we just saw a young man in the making that was competitive just unbelievably competitive, really, really smart. We did a lot of stuff from the mental side of things, and then just a quick processor, which we know the speed of the game, you got to be able to understand pre-snap, but then you got to process when things change the ball to snap. And so he had all that. We just thought the biggest thing he needed to do was work on his mechanics, work on his feet, his base, arm angles, all the things that he continually worked on. And this guy, everywhere we got, he was going to be a tireless worker. You don't need to challenge him. He challenges himself way more, and he's always been that way than we've ever needed to. And so we just felt like this guy's going to. You go back to my opening press conference when there was questions about Josh Rosen. That we got from. We brought that up yesterday. But there was a lot of questions why we took Josh Allen over Josh Rosen, and I was explaining in that press conference. You go back. This guy is Buffalo through and through. He is blue collar. You are going to love this guy way beyond the player of how he fits this community. And, they after that, and they gave him a chance, they embraced him, and he loves Buffalo as much as Buffalo loves him.
Yeah, he is he's special, man. Like, especially with the way he handles Buffalo and the way your teams have had to evolve with him at quarterback in Buffalo. And you talked about his work ethic. It's like from year 1 to year 2, insane jump. Year 2 to year 3, insane jump. Year 3 to year 4, insane jump. Usually there's like one big growth from somebody. Oh, they learned this. Oh, they figured this out. For him, it was like 4 straight years of like, oh, this guy's getting even better and better. So much so that now people call him like the prototype. Like, you're looking for somebody that is like Josh Allen. Has the ability to run, power, and speed. Has the ability to throw very far and has touch. Has a teammates locker room that loves him and works his ass off, seemingly. From all accounts that we've been able to witness from the outside, he becomes a prototype. Was it always a high football IQ operation with Josh Allen as well? Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Bean, we actually showed yesterday on the show Brian Daboll running through quarterbacks through last year's draft board work and stuff like that. You're shaking your head, so I assume you saw it. Was Daboll doing that to Josh and those quarterbacks back then in 2018?
Yeah, I mean, we had a whole thing, and what we said we were going to do was we were going to treat each quarterback the same as far as how you test them, what tests you're going to send them. Like Daboll would teach them stuff and then send them a test, and then when we got there, they would have to perform a test on their own, like a written test, and then we go in a meeting room, and Daboll would teach them stuff on the board and have them go up there, and some of it would be timed, some of it wouldn't, but Josh, I mean, he just... no one picked it up quicker. No one. And there were these were some smart guys, but he really stood out from a mental standpoint, which was impressive. He was definitely smarter than, I would have imagined a rookie would have been at that time. And so it was just a matter of this guy had played at junior college in Wyoming, and some of these other guys had played at more major programs. So how long would it take him to transition? Honestly, we were hoping his first year that we didn't have to put him out there right away. Week 1, we didn't. We got smoked, and guys in the locker room were looking around like, hey, put that wild Bronco that's running around the practice field, throw him on the field. We'd rather lose with him than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I remember him jumping over Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, Anthony Barr. Yeah.
I remember that one because the guy was standing straight up, seemingly. Yep. It was like...
That was his second start. Yeah, we lost to the Chargers his first start at home, and it wasn't pretty, but he kept fighting, made some plays at the end, and then we were like 17, 18-point underdogs going to Minnesota, and same thing. That's when the leap, took off.
Okay, so you talk about him being great in that Daboll meeting. We were watching those Daboll meetings, and it was like, geez, that would be... You got no ball? I mean, you're going to get exposed in there if you don't know ball. Like, that's going to be very evident. I don't need you to bury anybody, obviously, okay? But story of this draft, one of them, especially on networks I believe you were watching, Shedeur Sanders drops from like top 3 pick to a 5th round draft pick to the Cleveland Browns. People thought the Cleveland Browns would take him at number 2. They take him in the 5th round, actually. So then there was anonymous reports, which we all hate, just like let everybody know. Anonymous reports, anonymous sources. Get out and say.
I agree. I hate that too.
It affects your job too a lot, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's just, if we're going to do anonymous, let's just say it out if we're going to take shots at people.
Boom. This is what I'm saying. Okay, so you probably heard this. So anonymous sources were telling people that he had like the worst meetings that have ever happened, or worst meeting, team one-on-one meetings that have ever happened. How would a meeting go bad if a meeting was to go bad? And what does that mean if that is true from what his anonymous sources are saying? In your eyes, in your world. Not with Shador, but in your world, if it's ever happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say maybe if a guy was just kind of half-assing it through the, hey, sometimes you see, hey, my work spoke for itself. Like they're kind of not, like you either like me or you don't, kind of thing. I could see that happening. Beyond that, the only thing that could really hurt would be where if you don't think mentally, you have to be very smart. You got to be able to call the play, understand the play. You got to know where everyone's lining up. You got to be able to know what the defense is doing. There's so much mentally on these quarterbacks' plate. And so there is a threshold that you're like, man, I don't know if that guy is smart enough to run our offense at the level that would be the only, other than being disrespectful or nonchalant, like, take me if you like me. If you don't, then I'm fine. That would be the only other way.
What an interesting thing, because there's stories of like Peyton interviewed teams whenever he was coming out allegedly. That's allegedly. That was like the old fairy tale or folklore about what happened. Then Gronk said he had a terrible meeting.
Horrible.
Fell
asleep.
New England. Yeah, with the New England Patriots one somehow, and he got drafted there. And then you hear stories of these types of meetings happening, and then a guy who's supposed to be a top 5 ends up in the 5th round. I mean, that was a wild.
Yeah.
That was a wild situation.
We had a quarterback one year in Carolina that we brought in. I'm not going to name him. And he met up with a receiver that he knew. They didn't play at the same college, but we had the receiver in on these 30 visits. They met up, and they went out the night before. The receiver was flying out, and he was supposed to meet with us. And we couldn't find him for like 3 hours that morning. He was in his room, and he was passed out. And so we put him on a plane.
Brady quit.
Yeah, that's a bad meeting. I guess that would be a bad meeting there.
So that was a no meeting, and we took him off the draft board. But he did get drafted. He probably learned a lesson, and he played in the league.
He did play in the league?
He played in the league. It didn't turn out great, but he did play.
Did it turn out how you were projecting it?
After that, probably so.
Oh, not before that, though. Thought was going to be potentially great.
Yeah, I had some talent. Yeah, he wasn't a great athlete, but a pocket passer with a strong arm.
It'll get you. It'll get you. It'll get you down in Charlotte. Charlotte will get you. Good con down there. It's good con down there. Ty has a question for you, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Bean. Just curious. I know you guys don't really give a shit about draft grades, nor should you. But I'll have you know that you guys are pretty much getting praised.
Wow! Holy hell! Congratulations!
Yeah.
Wow! What a job!
Everybody thinks you knocked it out of the park, but. Is there any point, like, throughout your career where immediately after the draft you either have, like, I don't want to say regrets, but, like, you're uneasy about it? Or do you always feel great about the picks you made post-draft just because, you're okay with how much work you put in on your board going into the draft?
Yeah, I mean, we're genuinely excited about the guys we got. We stack our board, especially if you trade up and get a guy like, man, I really like that guy. But there's always times where you're like, man, a guy's falling to you, and it's a perfect match with a position you need, and someone trades right in front of you, or the team in front of you had no idea. You're kind of paying attention to their needs. You don't think they really care for them, and you sit there and they take them. That happens, to most every team, I'm sure, and it's definitely happened to us. Those are some of the ones you're like, man, should I have traded up 5 picks and secured that guy? And that's kind of why my history, I've been a trader, is like, I'll tell myself, listen, at some point here, I'm going to be mad if this guy goes. I know some people are going to say I shouldn't trade up, but I just want to go to bed tonight and know I got this player. And so those are probably the biggest, right after the draft. Now, listen, 2 years later, you're always studying, and the guys that worked either on your team or another team, and the guys that didn't, and you're trying to evaluate your process. Why did you, if a guy's doing better than you thought, what's the situation? What did that happen? You're always trying to learn from it. And so there's also, separate of the immediate kind of self-grading how the draft went, there's always 2 or 3 years down. You're like, man, if I knew that now, I would have taken that guy, or something like that.
I respect how did I miss this? How did I confuse one with the other, and then trying to figure that out for future drafts. That's the part that I never even considered. That's the most important part of the entire thing. It feels like. How does it feel like the team did? Were they morale high? Everybody take a break? What is the scouting department? What is, after the draft happens, what does the scouting department do now that just their Super Bowl has ended, right?
Yeah, so we send the college crew back home for a few weeks, and then we meet up.
Go live. Go see your families.
Go live their life. Hug their wives and kids and all that good stuff. And they got about 3 weeks off, and then we kind of restart getting ready for the 26th.
Get your ass back out there.
Okay. You got about 3 weeks, and then we're
It's the Knicks.
Yeah.
okay. We need to find. We need to find. We're chasing greatness here in a new stadium too.
Yeah.
Connor,
One more year.
What have you been hearing? What have you been hearing?
I heard, and this is just through the grapevine, that the Buffaloes have been shrunk down to
The Bison.
the Bison have been shrunk down to 5 foot.
No way.
Yeah, they're going to be tiny.
That's not the case?
People are going to be able to ride them.
No, you're not riding Bison.
Yeah. You can put a quarter in and it'll move.
No.
Like
No.
a pony. Yeah.
No one said you're putting a quarter in. You guys
It's doing the pony ride.
That's what those two radio hosts said. Yeah,
Jeremy and Joe.
Yeah.
Where are we? We're a year away from that, and
we're a year away. Yep.
Have the Bison been started of construction? Because if they have, we need an update. If they haven't, I assume there's going to be updates.
Mm-hmm.
Because
believe me, I've been lobbying. I've been lobbying hard to make sure these things are big. I told them I put my name out there with you guys, so we're still working on it. What size are we looking for here?
We have
25 to 30 feet.
Yeah, 40, 50 feet.
the Dims. I think you guys are at 18, right? Isn't it 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, the stomach is 12.
It needs to be over 20.
The head is 18.
Yeah, I think if you could say it was a 20-foot bison.
Yeah.
I think that is the goal. Don't you think?
Yeah, 2 stories? Oh, yeah.
How many of them are there? 3 of them, too? Are they like running? Right? They're doing a run?
Yeah, I think there's 3 of them.
The herd.
Oh, my God.
Maybe
A
5.
herd, a 20-foot bison? Well, there's a little baby down there. So the baby, I don't think the baby.
That's a photo.
The
bison.
family.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't think, I think the parent bison,
Mama and Papa.
bison, if you would.
If we get these bison to size, are you guys coming for the unveiling of this thing? Or only if that happens.
Yeah, we're getting a house.
No, we would come. We'd come. When's it going to be?
The stadium opens like next July of 26th. I think it's when it's.
Walk it in.
Perfect.
Walk it in.
We'll play around at golf with you, too.
July,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's go.
Hey,
Well, I would
July-
like to go to the driving range with you, too, the night before. Okay?
July 4th. in
You host
Buffalo.
us for dinner at your house.
The real handicap.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's go. Get up here.
July 4th in Buffalo could play.
Yeah,
Maybe
would.
not.
Right there on that lake.
Lake Erie?
And then I'm getting golf lessons from Bean, who's a stick. How are you playing now? Now's the time you're playing, huh?
I got to get going. I got some events coming up, so I need to get my swing going.
Events. Got to go shake some hands. You know, make
PGA
sure people are happy.
Championship playing this year.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, man. We really do. Congrats on a great draft, we assume. We'll tell you that in 2 or 3 years. You're the man, general manager of the Buffalo Bills, friend of the program, Brandon Bean. Thank you, man. See ya. What a dog.
Legend.
As we're in the middle of that conversation, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a great conversation to have right now. This is the conversation we should be having with him. Your entire draft process. Which I feel like I just learned a lot about the Buffalo Bills draft.
Oh, yeah.
They got 3 weeks. And then we're, guess what? Back in it.
26.
Who's going to be the next? Yeah, because we got Bison coming in 26. 20 feet Bison, I think, is the right play.
Have to do it.
One of them has to crack 20.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back on the other side. We got Les Snead in the second hour and AJ Hawk. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life.
All roads leading to Eugene, and I can't help but say, hey, you make me want to jump, put my hands up and pick my heels up and all again now. A little bit something now, 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 a little bit louder 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 now, a little bit louder. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great day in Oregon. You know, we go to Cannon. OH. We are. Thank you. I love this. Let me go ahead and cock that thing. Boom on. Boom on. Ah, boom. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Roughnecks. We got engineers, we got doctors, we got economists. We got real tests that have real implications happening. And all of these sons of said, give me college game day. Instead of studying, I had some questions about coming out here to Berkeley, but after experiencing it, it is very evident that this is one of the best cities in this here United States of America. USA, 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 USA. And this represents everything that is great with this country, with our sport. It doesn't matter which way you view the world. It doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. College football runs through our soul. And that is what a celebration today is all about. I am thankful to be here amongst these nerds and future geniuses and future people that are going to run this place. It's an honor to be in Berkeley. It's foggy. I think there's some...
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this glorious, I guess I'm fighting Gunther next week, Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Hour 2 starts now. Sports! Listen, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And there's a chance you're gonna get your ass kicked, but if you don't do it, who are you?
Yep.
Coward. So, my friend got attacked. I stood up for him. Guy got banned. I asked for the ban to be lifted. Shout out to Nick Aldis. He lifts the ban. I got a match with Gunther, who bullied the greatest commentator in the history of wrestling, Michael Cole, right in front of my eyes. I don't like it one bit. He also threw me around there. I will say there was a lot of wires.
Well, yeah.
A lot of wires and chair and
tripping
everything
hazards.
like
A lot of stuff.
And I'm in those boots, I'm in those boots and how it all is slippy. Thank you for bringing
You didn't
that up.
know.
But nonetheless, he's an intimidating man. He's a strong man. He was world champion about a week
Not
ago.
that intimidating.
The guys, yeah, I mean,
He would have attacked you when you were looking at him if he was that tough.
That's
Good
awesome.
point.
yeah, you're right. I mean, his aura is certainly one of intimidation, though. I'll tell you, I've been in the arena a few times with him, and when you see him, he's certainly. But hey, listen, bub, I ain't scared.
Come get some.
Yeah, got new tariffs on Austria.
Couple of these.
100% all
Couple
winning.
of these. No, I've been working. I've been running. I've got a lot of things going on. I even got a special treadmill, anti-gravity treadmill, so I could run again. Because I've only had like 5 surgeries on my knees, I kicked a ball against the side of my house for a hobby as a kid. I didn't play video games. So the amount of kicks of balls, of things, is high. Played soccer, obviously, for a long time. Then, obviously, I kicked and punted in college, and then I punted and kicked off in the NFL. So I have a lot of surgeries on these. Had a dislocated patella the last 9 games of my last year of my season. Made Pro Bowl. Made Pro Bowl that year. With it being said, knees though have a lot of missing stuff. I'm not the only one. A lot of people have this issue that are athletes in this thing. So they make this treadmill that basically gets you back on there. 85% of your weight, take a little bit of the weight off, so that the meniscus that is missing from your knee and in between your joints and your bones, it can kind of be softened a little bit. I'm back to jumping. We were jumping the other day in Coach McCarthy's barn. It's like I feel very, very good about where I stand as a physical being at this point. It's a fun little place to be. I feel like I'm Darius Butler.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I feel like I'm Darius Butler.
There you go.
Not as jacked, obviously. I'll be there, I think, in maybe a month or so. I'll be in a month or so.
Month?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, what's today? You got left days, brother.
No, but I'm talking about looking jacked. I'm talking about being jacked. You know, I'm having some padding for Gunther.
Sure. Yeah, as you should. As you should.
There's shots coming. You know, I should maybe even think about
bulking
up maybe the next couple weeks.
Okay.
To take on maybe what if I wore 50 tank tops?
Or football pads.
Maybe the flag,
the flag,
those ones,
padding.
Yeah, and then we can even put some on here.
Put like a metal plate right there or something.
Yeah, so,
with spikes.
I don't know if that would be legal.
Well, hey,
I think that would be.
Is this a no holds bar?
Yeah, baby.
It's just sanctioned match, I believe, because I asked for a fight.
Sanction.
And it was a sanctioned match in a WWE ring. I think I should layer up. Up on top now. That just hit my mind. I think we should have been thinking this.
Couple sweaters.
It's not a Sin City street fight?
It's in St. Louis. It's not a St. Louis street fight either. But
thank God.
It is just a sanctioned WWE
St. Lunatic street fight?
The Arch City street fight?
Are you talking about an M-I, crooked letter, O-U-R-I, don't want to do it better, hey.
Yeah.
You can find me in St. Louis. What a run Nelly had. And a St. Lunatic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. They loved Air Force Ones.
Yeah, they did.
Still do.
Boom! Thank you to the St. Lunatics, for the introduction to the all-white Air Force Ones. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is going to give me motivational speeches every single day until my match next weekend in St. Louis.
Let's go.
That's the type of guy he is. That's the type of friend he is. I'm thankful for him. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Can't wait.
AJ, now is your time to kind of deliver your positive message from me. Just, less than 2 weeks away from a big match with Gunther.
Well, I did see it. First off, that was great, standing on the desk, great promo to the whole arena and to all the WWE universe. That was a thing of beauty. It's not easy to do, that's for sure, but I don't think you need any motivation for this guy. You know that. Like, he's like the big, strong, silent type that wants to slap your chest. Ty was right. Get a metal plate with some spikes underneath your tank top. He goes to chop you once. That's the last time he chops you.
But I'm saying stuck to me now.
Yeah.
You said spikes underneath there?
Yeah, blood everywhere.
A little shocker.
You need the spikes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I probably catch that. Maybe a stem. Maybe I do put a little iced stem in there.
Yeah, I didn't know those things in here.
Those from warming up. Those from when I was warming up. He doesn't just chop you there, though, too. I mean, he's got kicks.
Yeah.
He's got an arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
He's got an arsenal that he can attack you with.
He flies through the sky.
He does.
Flies through the sky.
Big man fall hard, though.
He's so big. Yeah, you're right. I gotta, we gotta move.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta stick it.
We gotta move, don't we? This is classic. I gotta move. I gotta move.
Find your distance with the jab and then get out. Okay?
I gotta
Mobile,
move.
agile, hostile.
I have to.
Tire him out.
Maybe I throw some sweet signs in there.
You know what I have to? I have to do this for Michael Cole.
Yes, you
Do it
do.
for Cole.
Got to.
Do it for Cole.
Do it for Cole.
Are you going to wear maybe his singlet? As kind of a tribute.
I don't know, afterwards.
That might be one of the layers. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You think I'm going out there with one layer on?
That can hold it all together.
Was Cole supporting you after?
What do you mean?
He was kind of questioning your decision making.
Yeah, I think he was because I talked to him afterwards. I'm like, "What is your problem? Why are you doing?"
Yeah, bingo. That's what I thought.
And then afterwards, he said, "I don't want you to feel like you have to do this because of me."
No, he's worried. Yeah.
Yeah, seems like he is a bit worried. Don't be worried, Cole. We know what we signed up for.
How's he going to call the fight? I mean, I know he's done it before, but it's going to be tough for him to call that fight.
He's an unbiased journalist.
Yeah, he'll be right down the middle.
We know that.
He's not making a pick beforehand.
He's got a Syracuse University degree, brother.
That's true.
He'll call that thing right down the middle.
Just like Herbie calling an Ohio State game.
You should have seen me running last night. I'm running on this thing, smacking the shit out of myself.
I like it.
Gotta get ready.
Smacking the shit out of myself.
Need it.
Just like, because, I mean, that could take your breath away. I was in War Games match with the entirety of the Undisputed Era, if you do recall.
Of course.
And I got hit with a chair there. Boom, chair right to the back. Okay. Holy fuck, that one, you know? And then I turn, and Kyle O'Reilly goes, oh, yeah. And oh, yeah. He gives me a left kick to my gut. Yeah, he got me.
Out of you.
Yeah, caught the wind out of me. And I was like, oh, we're fighting in here. I did not know.
Everything's shooting.
We are.
Sports.
Yeah, we are fighting
war
in here,
games.
and it was war games. I put somebody through a table through there.
Yep.
Hit somebody with a chair off the side of a cage. Bam! And I think I went off the top of the cage.
She did.
Hit that thing. I think they fell from the rattle from me hitting the mat clean.
Right.
I saw another video similar to that on the internet. I think
boy.
the rattle from hitting the ground.
Some big bumps. There's some big bumps going around the internet now in this wrestling world, man.
Yeah, the algorithm has tapped into the wrestling world, and that dude doing a swanton front flip.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Off the Moose down there, AJ Francis down there. I forget the whole group. There's obviously that's a lot of
Top dollar?
Yeah.
Top dollar.
Top dollar,
Damn,
AJ Francis.
ripped his arm off.
Yeah,
almost.
because I mean that is
clear medically.
that's a devastating. Well, that's what he was trying to do to him. He was trying to rip everybody's arms off,
Yeah.
Of course.
like that gorilla. Like that gorilla. Have we slept? We've slept on it.
Yeah.
We'd win.
I think
Yeah.
I'm on
switched.
Team Human.
Me too.
Yes.
But I think I'm just watching. I don't think I'm one of the 100.
No.
What?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, you're not signing up.
No, I'm going to watch, but
Should be a
I
prisoner.
think the humans win. About 75 die.
Okay, so
76 with the gorilla.
Got to be done.
Okay, so how do you select who the first? Is there a random drawing? How do you?
I mean, the first 50 might as well just be complete
Whoa,
turds that don't care.
whoa.
They don't matter.
Don't give up 50.
They're all getting
disagree.
sacrificed.
Don't give up 50. I think we give up 10 first. Now, there's 10 good men. Okay, and we appreciate their services to the human. They're on a death mission.
Yeah.
Those first 10. They're gone.
They're high as shit.
We watch them. Yeah, we watch
Well,
them.
everybody's got to be on meth. All the humans, all 100 need to be on
No, we
the
need
high,
brains,
high
brother.
level
First
meth.
10.
We need people locked in.
I think you go to a penitentiary.
No, you need
and
zombies.
Get 100 guys. Say, hey, you want to get out early?
Whoever can get
That's
the
Stone Cold
eyes.
Steve Austin's movie, isn't it?
We need
Yeah,
volunteers.
pretty much. Move,
Death
man.
race?
What you say, Fox?
No.
Whoever can get the
Statham.
eyes. Whoever can get the eyes, they have to go first. You got to get the eyes first. Once the
You ever
eyes
seen
are
the teeth they
eliminated,
got,
you go.
Foxy?
Well, that's part
Well,
of
I
it.
know
Check
that's
those
why you need
teeth
a
out, get your
tactician
hands
in
by
there.
their
You need a
face.
high flyer. You
Their
need someone that can
conditioning
jump
isn't
on the
very good
head,
at age.
get the eyes out, and then you keep it moving.
They're
after that.
herbivores.
My favorite thing here is the more humans think about it, the more humans are all in on us winning. Which, hey, shout to us. Team on us. Team on us.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, team.
Team. I'm not on us.
Yeah.
I'm not with us.
What?
You on
What?
gorilla?
No, come on. Now you tell the first guy runs up there, gets his arms and legs ripped off, and then everyone else turns and runs.
Someone
They
did
steal
do
it.
it.
No, we got the 100 right men. We
You're not
got
allowed to
100
run.
right
Someone
men.
did
Until you get,
research
yeah,
last
don't,
night.
like the old Mike Tyson fight, yeah. Until someone gets their arms ripped off in front of you,
That's good.
then that's
Those
when you know.
people know that's happening to them.
Part of the plan.
Okay, until it happens in front of you, I think it might be a little different than in theory and how it feels like it might. Okay, I'm going to just keep going no matter what. I'm fighting.
Blinders,
Here we go.
brother. We got to execute.
We could also send a
The
guy with
dude-
no arms in first.
Yeah, the night before, by the way, guess what they're watching for hype videos? People getting their arms and limbs ripped off. Hey, you're going to see it tomorrow.
Also-
so get mentally prepared.
Gorillas are only 5 foot, like 400 pounds. It's basically like fighting Jay Glazer. Okay.
Which
I think they're a little taller.
I don't want to do that either.
I mean,
I am not
100
in.
people versus Jay Glazer.
Raw
I don't know.
power. Speaking of, hold on. Speaking of,
yeah.
we have a trailer for a fight movie that I think is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Debuting in October. The trailer released this morning for Smashing Machine.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kerr?
Oh, we go way back, but he's a buddy of mine.
Come on, baby.
Too much?
Never.
Too much?
No.
Please welcome in his Octagon debut, Mark
Winning is the best feeling there is. It's 40,000 people, and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world. No contract, no money?
No money.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil?
Advil?
Yeah.
Dahn, would you like?
No.
They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Hey, Dahn, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at the beginning of the fight?
It's simple. Am I going to hurt him before he hurts me?
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you.
This Grand Prix to crown the greatest fighter in the world. He has come back from the brink. Let's see if he can pull out a victory over Mark Coleman. Have you spoken to either about fighting such a good friend for a life-changing amount of money?
I just need you to let me in.
I took the bull.
Always about you. Only about fighting you.
Let's fucking go. My big strong man, I love you.
I think he wants your autograph.
Sure, no problem. No fighting.
October 3rd. Hey, that's like a real. That's like because he's got this mob movie coming up as well. That feels like super serious acting for The Rock, and the amount of commitment I heard behind the scenes, working out the whole buy-in for him from WrestleMania season all the way through. I think like 8-9 months or whatever. I mean, it was like a full life commitment from The Rock. Emily Blunt, obviously a big deal, but from what I'm watching there, this is going to be like a power movie. It feels like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can obviously still tell it's The Rock, but like in all his movies, like it's Dwayne Johnson on the poster. Like that's kind of the point of it. Is like, hey, you want to see The Rock in like a big action movie? Like he's kind of unrecognizable there, especially in some parts of like that trailer. It's like, wow, like he like the amount of makeup he probably had to do, and then A24, the studio that's doing it, they put out a lot of like kind of prestige type movies. Benny Safdie, the guy who wrote it and directed, him and his brother, they did Uncut Gems, and they've done like movies like that are, I don't want to say awards fodder, but you can tell that like this is completely different than anything The Rock has been in up to this point in his career.
So he's got a Godfather movie coming out, and he's got this movie coming out. Moana is going to be good forever.
Yeah, live action.
Live action Moana is good forever. Terramana.
Right?
Oh, delightful.
Papa
Tui is unbelievable. Zoa. Oostus.
Yeah.
Why?
Got a new line of
Project Rock. Why?
Yeah, shoes.
Why?
Jeez Louise.
Still bringing it.
And his social
Still
media.
got it.
Yeah, still bringing. And his social media is he's the
biggest,
most followed American male. We'll like see the announcement. It's absolutely wild.
And he's the final boss.
He's the final boss.
Truly. And High Chief.
And High Chief.
Most importantly.
For now.
OTC.
I don't know.
It's a trap.
I don't know.
Did you see what Seth freaking Rollins was doing last night?
I did.
All right, let's talk a little football. George Kittle got signed to a 4-year, $76.4 million deal, $19.1 million per year. AJ, your thoughts on George getting paid and the bussing with the boys breaking the news?
Yeah, I did. I like Will, taking Ian for a walk like he does. That was nice to see him to get his get the recognition they deserve. But yeah, was this ever a question though? Like, this seems like common sense to me that they would get George signed like this.
I don't know. He missed something. There was a conversation that wasn't happening. There was reports that there was maybe a little bit of a thing happening contractually. But yeah, I feel like George Kittle is the San Francisco 49ers kind of heartbeat, and I think he's beloved by everybody over there from what we understand.
Yep.
We know the NFL loves him, and then we looked at his stats for the first time since the season.
Yeah.
Did you know he was first in yards per game? I didn't. I had no
I
idea.
didn't until all this.
He
Yeah.
does so much that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet too. Like he's like an extra old lineman in the run game, and whenever the only thing that has ever gotten in his way is health, if it's some injuries. But as long as he's been healthy, he's always been in the conversation as the best tight end in the league. Obviously, you have Travis Kelce and what he's been able to do, not only in regular season, but postseason, been able to step it up, huge Super Bowl moments. But George Kittle is unbelievable in both phases of the games. And, obviously he's a great locker room guy as well.
Oh, I forgot about him being a pancaker.
Oh, yeah.
And laughing about
From
it.
day one.
Road grader.
And any Shanahan offense is going to need a runner, so that's a big deal. AJ, George Kittle is I was going to say unicorn.
Yeah, you can almost say that for real. A guy that can block as well as he does, but also is such a threat and is so productive in the pass game. Yeah, man, they don't make him like this very often.
And his vibes, he's old school, but so upbeat. Saw him at WrestleMania a few times. So much fun. Chugged a beer as soon as he gets on there. Still absolutely jacked and shredded. Got a chance to hang out with him and Claire and a couple of their friends after Mania. Good vibes. Just great vibes. Immaculate vibes comes from Kittle. I assume he's like that in the locker room, and that is a gift whenever it comes to a long NFL season.
Yeah, gift for Purdy, too. So now they're saying Purdy is next up in the $50 million range, and it wasn't expected until they traded Debo. Because there's that conversation last year, hey, they have all these guys coming up. They got to make a couple decisions. They moved Debo, Kittle's first, and now they're saying Purdy should get done within the next few weeks in the $50 million club.
Okay, so congratulations to all the quarterbacks.
Congrats.
Brock Purdy, too, Mr. Irrelevant. They did, it's nice to revisit that. And did you see they brought out, it was a celebration, the Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know what company it was. Should have. It was definitely a sponsored thing.
Oh, yeah, because it was for New England, too. I forget the company. Shit.
And they said, come out and see us somewhere in California, because I think they have a parade for Mr. Irrelevant and give him I think he gets a watch. I was eyeing Mr. Irrelevant.
Pretty close.
Ryan Suckup, kicker, South Carolina, got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. I think potentially they were thinking about it, from what I was being told. So I was learning about this Mr. Irrelevancy as the draft was rolling on. Parade, I think you get a ring, a watch.
Oh,
I think there's it's
awesome.
I think there's like a full-on community, like if you want to buy into the entire thing. So that was back whenever I was coming out. So then, you go through the years, I'm like, has that died off a bit? And then when Brock Purdy does such a good job, it almost gets overplayed then.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Mr. Irrelevant's overplayed now. One of the best quarterbacks in the entire league was picked last week. Get it? Which goes back to the point of the draft. It doesn't matter where you get drafted.
It just matters what you do when you get there.
It's just that you're in a building.
Yep.
It's the only thing that matters. Joining us now is a man who's picking who's coming and going from his building. General Manager of the Los Angeles Rams. Ladies and gentlemen, Les Snead.
How's it going, guys?
Is there a drawing? I can't see. Is there a drawing over your shoulder?
You know what? Hold on one second. I'll leave the screen. It's right here. There we go.
Okay. I thought I caught it.
But we took it down. It was the building said, you know what, we've had enough. Take that one down. Go back to the DL. You know what I mean?
I like that. Celebrate.
Who needs a has-been punter on the wall?
Amen, brother. Put that D-line up. That's incredibly young and is an absolute problem for the NFL for the rest of time, we would assume. How do you feel coming out of the draft? And before we get into that, shout out to you guys for doing your draft at a firehouse, I believe, there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I assume that was a very cool interaction for everybody, for all parties. And anytime you can showcase some appreciation to the badasses who are serving our communities, especially firefighters. I have family members that are firefighters. We're talking about sprinting towards, the flames. The flames are a natural run away from her for everybody, a repellent. Everybody runs away from flames. Firefighters run towards them at all times. So mad respect, especially with everything going on out there, for you guys to do that. How'd that idea come about? And what was it like as an experience?
It was I think living it was, the ideas on paper was like, wow, this is really cool based on all that Cali's been through. Not necessarily this year, but California's used to this. Like, as you said, Mother Nature throws its best pitch and these first responders run right toward it. So, but going there and living it with them, I can't even paint the picture of how really, really cool and emotional, because they really appreciated it. They do some, like you said, when I think Sean and I did that that video, and there was a whole thing about making that call. And I think at the end of the day, when we dial that number to call them, we're not calling them to say, you know what? We appreciate all you do. We're calling them to go, oh my, Mother Nature's coming at us. We're going to run the other way, but we need you to run into it. So that's an important call. They are badasses.
Badasses. And I think, I don't think I've ever been for an air fire department. Never been there. A lot of good chefs in there, because they're all cooking. Some of them cook for each other.
Our draft room, obviously it's a fire station, and it was a big hangar because it's where the helicopters, it's where they go fight the fire. Let's call it the wildfires or whatever we call them out here. So big hangar, but there was a kitchen right there, and what was it? They were always cooking. They have a weight room. They're kind of like you. They're wearing some tank tops, look a little buff.
Love the boys.
And then what was really cool was at the end of the night, all of them did the cleaning. Like all of a sudden we were leaving the firehouse. That was one of the moments like, wow, I think I am spoiled. Because as we were leaving, everyone who was there fighting fire by day, on call at night, you know what? They're mopping the floors. They're cleaning up. Really, really, I think we could all go to spend a year with the fire department and get better.
Hell yeah.
Be better people on the other side of that.
Hell yeah. Thanks for your service.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for your service.
Give them.
Okay, we'll talk about your first pick that you made from the fire department. You go with a tight end. Why was this your decision? Was it best available in your eyes, or are we trying to load up even more on an offense that is already successful?
A little bit of both. I think we went into the draft, especially where we were positioned back in the late part of the first round, and often call it the cost of winning sometimes because you're always picking a little later than you want. But we did have some positions that we thought would help us more. And if the right player fell at those positions, let's go attack. And I think obviously we have a really good tight end room. We have a lot of veterans. Everyone in our room right now has played football. Tyler Higbee's been with us since Sean's been here. But I know there's an element of Tyler being at the end of his career, who's going to replace him, and then just adding another tight end to the field. I think when Sean McVay came to us from the Washington, they weren't the Commanders then. Don't know if I could say their old nickname these days.
Football team, Football team.
Yeah, the football team. Well, they did a lot of 12 personnel, so maybe we'll add a little bit of that to our repertoire. But end of the day, good position. We like the player as well, the person.
I love whenever you think about getting even more dynamic, especially whenever you're talking about a Sean McVay offense and Matthew Stafford there for yet another year in that offense. They seemingly know each other inside and out at this point. Get him another weapon. Go ahead, AJ.
Les, I believe you guys traded up 3 times on day 3. Can you talk us through what kind of, how that happens and continues to happen throughout that day? And is that pretty chaotic? I would assume that kind of keeps your attention and keeps you locked in on every single pick.
It definitely kept our attention. I think it was a draft. And it's cool you made that point, AJ, that we went into the draft thinking, you know what? We're going to probably trade back. That's probably a scenario that's very probable. But we also felt like we would be gaining picks in this draft. It was just fortunate for us that the Falcons really wanted to move into the first round, so we delayed our gratification when they gave us that future first round pick. So we delayed gratification. We passed a little bit of the marshmallow test, and we received the pick for next year. But we lost a pick in this year's draft when we had already been a one short with the pick we gave for Fisk last year. So I called this draft. Once we were down a pick, it was like, our board's a little thinner. If it was a baseball game, I would tell you this, AJ. You know what we were going to do in this draft? We were going to hit a single. We were going to have to steal a base. We were going to bunt the guy over the third, and we were going to sack fly him in. It was just one of those drafts where you really had to work and maneuver to grab the players, to attack the players that you felt like could come in and contribute in a role, in a vision that we have for them on the roster that we currently have.
Okay, so I didn't play baseball, but the metaphor that you just gave seemingly was, all right, we're going to give up a little bit here, but we're going to get something. Basically, right?
Yeah.
Giving up 2 outs there, but you just got the guy home with 1 hit. Okay.
I can't believe I confused everybody.
No, I'm not a baseball.
I confused everybody, and you just, cleared it up for everyone.
No, I was hoping that I was right. Is that what he said? I'm not a baseball guy at all. I know Paul Skeens sliced up the Dodgers when he was playing them. Tell your friends over there in Los Angeles, from what I've been saying, from what I saw, at least. I don't know how great it was. Yeah, I don't know baseball that well, but that was a great indicator. Is it like that every draft, or just because of these specific players? And big boys seemingly getting rewarded more in the draft.
No doubt. I think, the big boys, it's Bill Parcells, you say that it's a big man's game, right? But I think not every draft's like this. If we would have had more picks, sometimes you can allow the draft to come to you. You can wait on it a little bit, and your board's a little thicker instead of thinner, and you can pick off players that, there's a lot of buy-in. Because every time you go to pick, there's always, more players on the board than one. But based on the nature of our board, this draft, what positions we wanted, it was a little bit thinner, so we did feel like, okay, we need to score runs in this baseball game. We're going to have to give up something. We're going to give up some outs to score runs, but you know what? We're going to count on our pitching to hold the other team down. Hey, AJ, if I was a defensive coordinator right now, you'd be like, you know what? Can you just tell it? Give us something simple. Let us go play football. You've confused the heck out of us.
No, that's a home run, I think.
We got it. Yeah. We got it, Les. No worries. We got it. Trust your process.
This is good wood right now, everything that you're putting out there. Speaking of good wood, how about Stoner down there in Jacksonville? Did you hear his promo whenever he introduced Travis Hunter and why he made the decision that he made to trade up to 2 and give up what he gave up? He said, football is built to have its boundaries be tested and belief and everything. And he said, Travis Hunter is belief. Travis Hunter is all this thing. And the way he sold, it was a move. It was a statement to all of Jacksonville.
Amen.
Did you expect that? Did you expect that from him?
Amen. You know what? James is really gifted, definitely with let's call it a monologue, a prologue, whatever we want to call that. So he's gift for gab. He's really good at it. I would come on this show, and if I could, what did he say? I forget if I could embody my James Gladstone, I would. I just don't have that in me. Mom, Dad, God didn't give me that gift to gab like James did, but he really did sell it. He's always been a very articulate, human being. So. And he's been passionate. So when he says something, he believes it.
How do you feel about him moving up to 2 and making that play for his team?
I think that they were passionate about that player. I think they wanted to not only add a football player, but add competitiveness to their ecosystem. So they felt like, you know what, we got to go attack. Let's go grab this player. Just don't let the draft come to us. Let's go get the person we want that we think can not only help us on Sundays, but also give an edge to the culture they're trying to engineer down there.
Okay, let's talk about somebody you added. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Les, Devontae Adams, you guys added after losing Cooper Kupp, and, Puka Nacua gives up his 17 for Devontae. Did Stafford have anything to do with that in Devontae, or what was that process like bringing him in for your squad this year?
Sean always, let's call it, collaborates with Matthew on some of the skill, and he was definitely all for it. So, interestingly, I think Puka was going to give up 17 for 12 before Devontae got in the build. Maybe he should have held that secret a little bit and maybe gotten Devontae to give him a tip for that number, but he was already in the process of going to 12 based on a family history of that number. So it's perfect, right? Oh, man, we got jersey 17 open. What NFL player can we sign who wears 17? Holy cow, let's go, Devontae Adams.
Oh, really? That's how it all worked out, huh?
That's how it all, it's not always as complex as you think.
Yeah, I actually got a box arrived from the people at Los Angeles Rams facility over there in LA. I have a Puka Nacua autographed 12 jersey. The letter said, this might be one of the first ones, Oos, from Puka. So shout out to the 12. Looks nice.
Looks real nice.
12 looks
I'm not used to that yet. I'm just not used to it yet. Going to need to see him catch some balls in that.
Oh, is it going to be weird for you at training camp? 17. Just a little bit different.
Cooper Kupp went from 18 to 10, so we had to get used to that. So I think that, we're going to have to get used to 17 to 12.
Tone has a question for you, Les.
Yeah, Les, I do. Jay Glazer reported before the draft that teams, normally have columns or things for an injured player or potentially, off the field issues. But he said this year a lot of teams, it became more prevalent that they had to add a category for doesn't love ball Is that a real thing that's happening in this NIL era because guys have already been played? The teams are now more focused on finding guys that just love football?
That would be interesting if we added that because of NIL. Maybe it's come to life a little more because of NFL and all the or you when you make a change. And I always say this. I think Sean McVay would say a good story. I think one time when he was a young coach and he went to maybe interview, I forget which tight end, and the guy ended up being a really good player. And it might have been Niles Paul, who played tight end for them in Washington all those years. And Sean says, I was trying to ask him if he loved football. You know what I mean? And basically got down to money. And I think Niles asked Sean, hey, would you coach for free? So I don't want to ever make money that you don't love football. But I do think we're always trying to find out if someone truly loves football. Because if you truly love football, if you truly love something, whether it's football, whether it's you, Pat, in this show,
hell yeah.
If you love something, if you're passionate about it, you're probably going to suffer, right? You're going to go through stress and drudgery, right? To have the Pat McAfee Show be one of the best that it can be. That's because you love it. Same for football players. If they love the game, if they love their team, they're going to suffer. They're going to sacrifice. They're going to give a little, and that usually then compounds over time with all the behaviors that go into being a pro and not just being right on the depth chart or not just hanging around. If we call it eating food but not producing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, waste of laundry detergent. The whole how do you know if a guy's a dog or not?
Yeah.
That's a great question. What is even the definition of dog? We even say sometimes,
Jared
hey,
Verse.
dog, is it a DAWG or a DOG?
Yeah.
Right? And if you're in a football locker room, you kind of know it. Yeah. And I do think there is this blend of a dog, a positive dog, a net positive DAWG. I think there's an element of their behavior Monday through let's call it Monday through Saturday. But a lot of times you do see that dog come to life. I think someone mentioned on your show, Jared Verse, right? When you watch Jared Verse, when we were playing, the Vikings at Arizona in that playoff game because of these fires, right? I think anyone who tuned in that game go, wow, Jared Verse, that defensive line, there's some dogs on that line, and I give that net positive.
Yeah, I think that's a net positive as well. You saying DAWG or DOG, if you've ever been in a building, you know the answers to these things. I'll see a graphic every once in a while, and they'll say DOG on it, and I'm like, we're not talking about we're not talking
every now and then we say, you know what, someone's just a pup. And they're growing into being, they're not quite, they're growing into their feet.
Let's talk about your dogs on the D-line.
AJ's smiling right now. He's going, you know what? I remember this guy. He got highly drafted back when we were the Packers. And you know what? He was just a pup. He wasn't there yet. We still had him on the league. You could just, I could see a smile. I'm not going to ask you to say who came to your mind first, AJ.
Yeah, Somebody was it? Who was it? That's a good question, actually.
That's a great question. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I have a hard time telling if someone does love ball or not, but I think sometimes people can oversell it verbally that they love ball, for sure. You can tell by their actions and how they carry themselves.
Les, did you know that A.J. Hawk and Kuhn, the fullback, for how many years? 9 years?
A lot of years.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
8 or 9 years in the CTE era, okay? 8 or 9 years. A.J. middle linebacker, him fullback. For 8 or 9 years together as teammates, not one time did either of them say, hey, today we don't have to go full go.
Jeez.
Wednesday, Thursday, I assume Fast Friday you guys weren't doing that though, right?
No. We were smart. We took care of each other.
No, you didn't. That's exactly what you said you didn't
brother-in-law?
do. Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 9 years straight, every single week.
Boy.
Think about that.
Inside run?
No thanks.
And that's what
Look at John Kuhn's head. You can't brother-in-law John Kuhn. Look at his head. He knows one speed.
But whenever you say people can sell that they love ball better than they can show it, it's like 8 to 9 years straight running your head into a guy who's got loves ball. Mm-hmm. You are looking for dogs that love ball. And you talked about that D-line. Hembo just sent over some stats here to put you over. Most sacks, including playoffs. From the 2023 draftees, number 1, Will Anderson has 22.5 sacks. Number 2, Kobe Turner, 20.5 sacks. Number 3, Byron Young, 17 sacks. Well, how about the 2024 draftees? This is most sacks, including playoffs. Braden Fisk, 10. Jared Verse, 6.5. Nobody else near them. So 4 out of 5 there are your picks. Feels like you got the D-line figured out. Feels like that is, which we talked to McCarthy during draft night, Mike McCarthy. He said you need 4 ones at D-line. You need 4 ones. You need to be able to do 4-7. Obviously, that's what the Eagles were able to do on defense. D-line, very important, obviously. And why do you think you have such a high hit rate?
We've always valued defensive line. We knew we needed to continue valuing it, especially when Aaron Donald did decide to retire. I think I mentioned it the last time I was on this show that, with those guys you just mentioned, we spent 5 top 100 picks on 4 players. So whether they're 1s, 2s, what we do know is, they're our type of guy. They're TAWGs. They get up the field. They definitely try to create a little stress and drudgery on the QB. But we do think philosophically, the way the game is, that if you can, especially as the game goes over, if it's 60-something plays that each team usually gets, and especially when you play against these elite QBs, if you can have some players up front that causes that QB, that offensive clock to maybe get a little bit discombobulated, you got a better chance of beating that team than you don't.
I'd say so. Yeah.
You know what I talk about loving football, though? Think about Kobe Turner. Kobe Turner goes, I'm going to walk on at Richmond. Okay, we're not University of Virginia, not Virginia. I'm going to Richmond.
Beast.
And then he does what he does at Richmond. He says, I'm going to go to Wake Forest. And then he's not even going to get invited to the combine. So, oh, by the way, we're going to make the pick. But that's someone who loves football. That he didn't have to play. No one paid his education to play. He decided, I love it so much, I'm going to Richmond to walk on. And every one of those defensive linemen, and even the young man we drafted from Michigan the other night, Josiah Stewart, they all started at let's call it a lesser level of football. Whether it was Verse at Albany, whether it was Fisk at Central Michigan, Western Michigan, I'm going to get that wrong. Whether it's BY at Georgia Military, whether it's Josiah at Coastal, they all loved it enough that they were going to let's go to the Power Fives to start. They didn't have that op. Let's go somewhere first and then let's transfer up. So that's one of the positives of the transfer portal per se.
I'll tell you what, that might be a good trait to be looking for actually at certain positions.
Yeah.
Like having to grind through that and wanting it. That's a want to type thing there. That's a great trait to have, especially if you're looking for people that love football. It's working for you. Kobe Turner walked on at Richmond, you said. Now 20 and a half sacks, in his first 2 years. Pretty good. How about 0-star Cam Ward?
I don't know if you saw him either. He can sing pretty good.
Really?
I think he did.
Yeah.
You got to go back to. Mad Singer. Go pull out the Google highlights, YouTube, wherever you go to get your highlights.
Did he win?
He dominated Matt, but he's got an opera voice. This guy could be. He could be. I guess we call it in New York Broadway.
So he's
got a Broadway career after this.
He's a dog with Broadway pipes.
Yeah, he won.
Well, I tell you what, there's not many of those humans on the planet.
No,
like DAWGs that can do Broadway too. That's rare. We're at rarefied air.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you do the research before the draft.
Exactly.
It's a hell of a combo.
Just him and Tom Cruise.
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Jordan Mailata.
Yeah, sure.
Did
Mike
he
Rowe.
win? Did he win?
I'm pretty sure he won, yes, in 2023. Yeah, if this is
he won. I should know this, but he you know what I mean? He whatever. I don't know if I'd have dressed up like this, but you know what? Power to him.
Like 90%.
He did a Lakers national anthem at the Lakers game, and that's worth a listen.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If y'all are sitting there and you're on your show and you're like, oh geez, we're an hour, however many, and this thing's getting a little dull, pull out a Kobe Turner national anthem from the Lakers, and you know what? Maybe you get a little ratings bump there at the end.
Do you watch the show?
I do not watch the Mads. Oh,
no,
your
our
show
show.
or Mads
This show.
You know what? The interesting thing, I don't necessarily tune into it, but you get a lot of clips from it.
Yeah.
So, and it's on in the building at times, so you'll pass by.
Yeah.
But
you're
not yet just, hey, must-see TV for myself yet.
Okay,
But
no,
boy,
I understand.
But a lot of people send me clips of you.
No, but when you say, like, when you have the downtimes and you need to fill, sound like you weren't
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are times. It's
coming up,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're staring it down, brother. We're about 5 minutes away from it. So that would be a perfect time. I mean, if you want to add EP, executive producer, to your title, you can certainly do that. Not a bad thing. Maybe we do salute the United States of America with Kobe Turner whenever there's a downtime. That's a brilliant idea and a brilliant concept. I appreciate you bringing it. I can't wait for the first time we all stand for Kobe Turner, guy who has 20 and a half sacks over the last 2 years. All right, last question for you here. Les Need, we appreciate the hell out of you. Go ahead, D-Bud.
I don't think Les is watching too much TV with
Lot of film.
that Mad Singer. Yeah, he's locked in. But I believe this is your 14th year now in charge of personnel over there with the Rams, winning this GM in Rams history. Is there any particular lesson or book or maybe anything early on that kind of stood out to you in your tenure that you took and you kind of hold on to now?
Oh man, there's plenty of the lessons I've learned on the job are usually, let's call it mistakes. So you gotta figure out why there was a mistake and you apply it. I'll bore you. This is probably not a McAfee subject. Probably the one book that I've kind of lived by. It's called Good to Great, Jim Collins. So Jim Collins was a professor at Stanford, but he was a big business writer back in the day. Wrote this book, Good to Great. Studied a lot of companies that had a really good run. Let's call it in terms of stock, and let's say maybe I forget how many years, and they had a good, let's call it a decade of good company, and then somewhere along the way they took it to great. And so what he tried to research is the lessons of how you go to good to great, which we all know those are you're now in the margins, so that's harder to do. It's probably easier to go from average to good than it is to go to good to great. So that's probably the book that I've always held on, try to reread once a year. Been fortunate to get to know Jim, mentor of mine, but maybe not McAfee content. Don't want to, you know what I mean? Jim Collins and WWE doesn't really
greatness.
Really
level 5 leader.
Yeah, we had the second largest book club maybe on earth behind Oprah. Congratulations to her. She had a great book club. We had the Aaron Rodgers book club for numerous years. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. Jim Collins. That's a bar.
There you go.
That's a bar right there.
I bet you AJ's got a copy of that on the bookshelf behind him.
Pull it out.
Well, not on this
Whip
bookshelf,
it out.
but actually,
Come on, AJ.
my college coach, Jim Tressel, actually had us read that when I was in college. Great book. No, I just have Ayn Rand back here. Atlas Shrugged, Aaron Rodgers' recommendation.
Oh, that's a great one as well.
Okay. All right. You're an avid reader, huh?
Avid. Have you ever read Atlas Shrugged, Pat? That's a good summer read. And I bet you
summer.
Yeah,
I've seen the Instagram when you were doing your Hawaii vacation. Maybe I bet you had old Ayn Rand there laying beside you.
Yeah. Books. Me and books have a tough relationship. Yeah, Sun Tzu, rest in peace. When I found out that Sun Tzu was dead, I was devastated. What a book, Art of War. And I've only seen excerpts out of that thing, but the excerpts that I've seen, I get it. I get what he's saying.
Rich Paul's
book,
the memoir.
A memoir,
if you will.
Bill's book coming out. Bill's book.
And also, let's not get it twisted. Have you ever read anything from Margaret Heffernan?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Let me teach you something about books.
Yeah, let's go.
Uncharted here. Okay. How to Navigate the Future by Margaret Heffernan. Okay. Is a great book because every day we're thinking about the future. Every day we're thinking about the future.
The future's uncertain, so.
It certainly is.
Uncertainty brings anxiety. Let's go.
Oh, well, but also decisions, uncertainty brings decisions.
Flip to that page.
And then if you really dive into it, it's just figuring out the whole life. The issue with me having this book is I thought it was this book. You see, The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick. Oh. So I was sent the wrong book with the wrong cover just yesterday. And I'll tell you what, I would have never known about Margaret Heffernan, but she makes some good points here.
Yeah.
She's dog.
She makes
you got to give her publishing company credit for pulling this off. Everybody's ordering the Bill Belichick book and you get Margaret's book. I mean, if you think I gave you a good idea with the Kobe Turner national anthem, somebody deserves a raise in that publishing company.
We need to start putting sleeves around Harry Potter's.
There you go.
Cool.
That's not a bad idea.
People thinking that, how did this happen? You know the book world well. How would this have happened? Does this happen?
I don't know it. I think that's intentional. Let's go. Let's give them credit.
It's a Gary V marketing plan, probably.
It's a left hook. All right. We appreciate the hell out of you. Great draft. Can't wait to see what you do this season. And thank you for taking time.
Always appreciate it. Enjoy being on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager of the Los Angeles Rams, Les Snead.
Yes.
Shout out to Les Snead.
Yeah.
That thing in the fire department was cool.
Very cool.
I wonder how that had to be pretty chaotic.
Yeah, they set up a little room.
Yeah, because like these war rooms, we're getting a lot of photos from these giraffe rooms. We're getting a lot of video from the giraffe rooms, the conversations. Obviously, a lot of big-time decisions are being made, millions of dollars, billions of dollars at stake, yada, yada, yada. You know it. Having all that going on around them, I wonder how that did go for them. The Los Angeles Rams, Les Snead and Sean McAfee, they've been fun out there in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right.
They've rented houses. They've kind of moved their draft stakes around town, and to honor and pay tribute to the fire department, who has obviously been serving at a large rate. I don't know how they ever beat it. There's never, I don't know. Once one's done, it feels like another one comes out there. So for them to, recognize and then go to their place of work, chit-chat, I assume great conversations were had. I assume there were some photos taken because Sean McVay's a legend, a superstar. And I hope there was obviously some inspiration given to the Los Angeles Rams by the firefighters, who are absolute badasses.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to everything out there. But I wonder how they, because what?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh,
Any favorite war room picks this year, this draft?
I saw the
favorite?
Colts. I saw the Colts had one. Did you see everybody was wearing the coral color?
Yeah, that's sweet.
So that was in honor of the wife of a senior scout for the Indianapolis Colts. So there was multiple, I guess she passed away. I don't know, very recently. I'm so sorry to the family. I forget the coach's name. Scout Matthew, he's with the Colts, been with the Colts. He's senior scout, college scout maybe. His wife passed away recently, so they made these coral shirts. I don't know if it was for a cause, but you saw some other rooms were doing it as well. So it was nice to see some of that happening there. We're getting a lot of access to these.
I saw Carly was sitting on like the Bosu ball.
Yeah, getting workout.
Exercise ball. It's good for posture.
Cool. Good core strength. Yeah, good core.
Whatever happened to those seats, those office seats that had the kneel and then the butt? Do you know, like the
like a squatty potty.
It was like
it had like the indent.
Yeah,
office chair. Yeah, it was like a little.
You like your knees are bent, right? And you like sit with your knees in front of you, and
you're like riding on. You're like sitting like this. You never seen it?
No. Sounds ridiculous.
That was changing the world.
It is.
I walked into a place, seen that, and I was like, wow, this is the future. Sat down. Wasn't terrible. Felt unsafe.
Sure.
Felt unsafe because you do bounce around a little bit. So there's a chance you can move out there. But yeah, Squatty Potty changed the game. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a guy who is the voice of a generation for a sport that I think is having a resurgence. He was at Monday Night Raw last night. In the home of the Chiefs. Kansas City, Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, MLB insider for ESPN, Jeff Passan.
Gentlemen, how are you?
How are you doing, Jet? Thank you for coming out to Monday Night Raw last night. I hope you and the fam and friends had a good time.
Dude, it was awesome. Pat, I got to be honest. I am terrified for you at Backlash. You have to take Gunther chops.
Yeah.
It's not going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do what I had to do here, Jed. I had to do what I had to do. Can't just do that and me sit there for everything that I'm about. Can't have it happen. So, and it did settle in a little bit last night as I was traveling home. Oh, great. Great. Here we go. But, I appreciate your kind words. And, going through laughing about it, I don't know what that's all about. Okay, I don't know what that's all about.
He ain't ready.
He's just a jobber anyway. Come on now.
Boom.
That was Jeff Passan. I'd like to have everybody know that I did not say that.
I agree.
You come to a lot of Monday Night Raws and to WWE events. Last night felt like a electrifying crowd. Legitimately, the Kansas City crowd I think was electric last night.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And listen, your promo. I mean, you were born to do this, Pat McAfee. It was phenomenal, and everything you said, loved it. Loved it, top to bottom.
There was 2 words I could have left out.
Maybe so. We're on Netflix, though.
There's kids, a lot of things. I didn't even think, and it wasn't until, shortly after was I reminded by Cole, he just wrote it down on the thing right next there. Hey, I go, oof.
Blacked out.
Hey, it just felt natural, so I do apologize for that. But nonetheless, I had to get some things out. A lot of people don't know a lot of things about me. I just wanted to remind some people, not only them, but to myself, who I am, what I am. I had to do that. And especially if you're going to challenge a guy like Gunther to a fight, and you're going to call out general manager and say, hey, listen, lift the band, let's do this thing. Okay, all right, let's do
And
that.
did you forget Nick Aldis's name? Because you just called him SmackDown Adam Pearce, right?
Yeah. Nick Aldis is a good man, former TNA champion. Okay, he's very handsome.
Totally forgot his name.
No. Do you know my relationship with Adam Pearce?
Yeah, he's middle manager.
Bingo. So you think I'm going to give credit to middle manager from
That's
other
fair.
show?
That's very fair. Very fair.
I think I even
I will say this, Pat. I was sitting
I did miss Adam Pearce last night. I did miss Adam Pearce last night.
I was sitting right in front of Quentin Lucas, who is the mayor of Kansas City, who was there last night.
In front of
and when the F-bombs were dropped, he was like, whoa, like all of a sudden it got him going a little bit. Like he was into it. He didn't know the background either. And so when he learned the background, it was fantastic.
Oh, so the mayor says, hold the phone over there in Kansas City. Okay. In the Jeez. I'm happy they went with me. I did not know if that was a good way to start the entire thing. They did. Let's talk baseball. Last time we chatted about it, we're having a great start, great season. Superstars are playing well. Haven't talked about it in about a week. What's going on in the baseball world? Everything's still going great?
Everything's always going great in the baseball world.
No, that is not true. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fair enough. Look, we can talk about Paul Skeens. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to fix my camera because it is about to fall apart, and that looks like it's much better right now. All right. So, in the base. That did not help. That did not help at all.
Much worse.
Oh, goodness. No. Come on, guys.
Who's the finger painting?
Come on, Jet.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
We'll see.
That's better, right? Maybe.
It's all relative.
Sort of.
Yeah, I think you look good. All
right.
720.
We got all kinds of things happening in baseball. Paul Skeens doing Paul Skeens things. Aaron Judge looking like Babe Ruth. The Los Angeles Dodgers still a machine. The New York Mets look like the best team in baseball right now. And we're a month into the season. And typically in baseball, I don't take a whole lot out of the first month. It's a long season. I mean, it goes 6 months. And so that first month tends to give you a little insight into what's going on, but you can't take away too many things from it. Right now, though, I love what the New York Mets are doing. They've just got good vibes around that team right now. And they're doing it without Juan Soto playing like a $765 million player. They're doing it without Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas. They're doing it because Pete Alonso, the polar bear, is off to a red hot start right now because their starting pitching top to bottom has been incredible. And because Francisco Lindor, their captain, is there hitting walk-off home runs and just bringing great energy to the team. And the thing is, the Mets want to be like the Dodgers, Pat.
No.
That's the goal at the end of the day, to take Steve Cohen's money and leverage it into something great. And they're not there quite yet, but what they're building right now, Mets fans have a lot of reason to feel good about this team going forward.
You said they want to be the Dodgers. A little bit out of focus, but you still said it. Everybody automatically thought they're trying to be the Yankees. Are they Are they New York's? Are they the Kings of New York?
No. Yeah,
they're the best team in New York
right now. But like you said, Jet, we're 30 games into the season, so I'm not
pump
gonna.
the brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
They played a tough schedule.
Ty, you think that the Yankees at the end of the season are going to be better than the Mets?
I don't know if I'd necessarily say that. The Yankees, their pitching is enough to just drive me insane. But but if the Yankees get to the playoffs and Judge performs better than he has in years past, you said it. Judge he's fucking unbelievable watching this guy night in, night out, and it's very frustrating that they have about two other guys on the in the lineup that are batting over 200. But No, we're 29 games into this thing, so I'm not ready to say that the Mets are the Kings in New York yet, but they have been hot.
Aaron Judge is batting over 400 still?
Yes.
That's high school like stuff, right?
Yes.
That's what people in high school do? Like good players in high school are 400 hitters?
Maybe like great players in high school even.
Passon, you were holding up your high school? You were batting 400 at high school?
No, this is not. This is Pembroke Hill School where my son plays and where I believe there are 5 players in the lineup, including my child right now, batting over 400. 14 and 3, go Raiders.
But nobody's batting over 500 on that team, though?
No, nobody is over 500. But
400 is absurd at any level of baseball, right?
It is, but especially, like Pat, especially in the big leagues, and especially for a guy like Aaron Judge, who's striking out, a career low at this point, 20% of the time. But think about it. When you take away that 20% of plate appearances that you're striking out in, right? That means you have to essentially bat 500 on all of the other balls that you hit in order to have a 400 average. So I don't think Aaron Judge is a threat to hit 400 necessarily, but if you go back and look at the last calendar year for Aaron Judge, he had a bad April last year. So let's go like beginning of May to the end of April this year. Aaron Judge is batting over 360. He has hit 60 home runs. He has driven in 156 runs. And he has put up 13 and a half wins above replacement. Now, WAR is a statistic that tries to encapsulate everything a player does. His offense, his defense, his base running. And it's useful because you can compare over generations how players are doing. And so last night, I went and looked. What is the best WAR season in baseball history? Of course, it belongs to Babe Ruth. He put up 14 wins above replacement one year. Second best year was 13.7 wins above replacement. After that, there has not been a player in history who over a calendar year has had 13 and a half wins above replacement like Aaron Judge. So what we're looking at right now, we give Shohei Ohtani all the love, but the truth is Aaron Judge is so good as a hitter, so much better than everyone else as a hitter, that I think he's a little underappreciated and taken for granted because he is so damn good at what he does.
Well, we appreciate the fact that Aaron Judge says, I'll just take a yard and I'll have the highest batting percentage. I'll hit it the furthest and the most often and the most consistent. Because there's people that just bat for average, right? And they're not hitting dingers.
Yeah.
And he's hitting for dingers and his average is better than everybody.
Yeah, and his on-base percentage is over. So he's getting on base over half the time, which, Jet would, it hasn't really been like that this year because the guys batting around him haven't been great. But when Barry Bonds was in his prime, there would be times where he would maybe get one good pitch to hit an entire series, and he'd hit a homer when he did that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Judge. He had the hot start. He hit a bunch of homers, and he hasn't been hitting homers at the same clip over the past 2 weeks, but. He's not getting very many good pitches to hit, and when he does, he's either hitting homers or he's getting base hits, and it's just it's remarkable to watch night in, night out.
Speaking of homers, D-Butt has a question for you, Jet.
Yeah, casuals like myself were kind of enamored early on in the season with the torpedo bats. Are they still a thing, or are people still knocking them out of the yard? That's the first question, and then secondly, are we sure about those numbers as far as WAR? You sure Jackie Robinson didn't have Jackie Robinson, Josh Gibson? Yeah.
Jackie Robinson was awesome. Jackie Robinson never put up a season like Babe Ruth or Barry Bonds, man.
Sorry.
In terms of the tour, Jackie Robinson was the most important player in baseball history. So not taking away anything from him.
Ted Williams fought
maybe United States. Maybe United States.
Todd Van Poppel, maybe.
Anyways,
David Wells.
I knew you'd get that one.
That was a big pop.
In terms of torpedo bats, that's a great question. I actually dug in a little bit on that too. Looking at the Yankees opening weekend when Cody Bellinger and Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells, going Jazz Chisholm going off and hitting home runs. Since then, they've been terrible. Now that doesn't mean that torpedo bats don't work. Cal Raleigh, for example, the Seattle Mariners catcher uses a torpedo bat. He's a switch hitter, but he uses the torpedo on the left side, been cranking home runs all over the place. Stephen Kwan with the Cleveland Guardians, batting .350 right now, uses a torpedo bat. What it is it's more a matter of comfort for guys. Like, how are they going to find the tools that allow them to be the best baseball players? We got to get you a torpedo, Pat.
I agree, because I think I'm a torpedo bat hitter.
Sure.
Because
You would hit absolute nukes with torpedo bats.
I felt like I broke my thumb on that jam that old buddy gave me. They just moved that thing down to here, just a big skinny top there.
Yep.
What's that's out of park?
All the way down.
Exactly.
Yeah, just this area, this
it
whole
right next to
area
your
right here.
hands.
Just make that the torpedo, and then just thin that side out there. So then I'm literally just throwing my hands at it. You know what I mean? And then that's torpedo right there. It's
gone.
That's what they do.
Love when Pat tries to talk baseball.
That's what they do, right? Yeah. I mean, you were saying a lot of things there where I'm like, as a non-baseball person, I do want to understand what's going on in your conversation, but I don't fully comprehend it. I thought the torpedo bats fixed baseball. Why the fuck can't they hit with the torpedo bats anymore? Why are we not? I thought that was the game changer. And then all the people that know baseball were like, they've been around for a long time. It's just a fad. Why is it? Is baseball, and is it like always changing? Like, are there always like little intricacies always changing? Is there like, because we've learned about all the sport and everything, the stickiness, the hat stuff, the traditions, this, we've learned about all that. Is there just always like little things changing? Like the ball. I remember we've changed the ball now like 5 times.
Juice balls.
With Spider Tech, we can't have Spider Tech, but we're allowed to lick and we're allowed to have rosin. But if you lick the rosin at the same time, can't do that. And also, you're going to get full body pad. Oh, now we're going to have a smaller pitch clock. You can only step out 1 time unless it's 2 times. Like, there's always like little things. I felt like the torpedo bat was the new one of those. Okay, we just move the wood to where the ball is going to be. Is there any more of those down the pipe? And is there a chance that the torpedo bat does come back and make a run? Because like D-Butt, I enjoyed thinking that they were walking out there with wiffle ball bats. And they were just hitting bombs every night. It reminded me of the summer.
Yeah.
The summer of bombs. The summer of McGuire and Sosa.
That's right.
Summer steroids.
Things, Pat, things are always changing in baseball. And it's one of the things that I love about it. It's that, in a game where everyone has the same type of information, what they're doing is looking for these tiny little minuscule advantages, because that tiny little minuscule advantage could lead to an extra win or 2, which could lead to a playoff spot, which could lead to a World Series. And the curiosity of people inside of baseball is to me the best part of it. They're always looking for something, and it wasn't just torpedo bats. There are guys out there with knobs on their bats that are shaped like hockey pucks, and they feel like they swing better that way. They're always testing and iterating and trying to figure things out. So yeah, torpedo bats aren't going anywhere. They're just not going to be the thing that changes the game permanently. I mean, we're in a state right now where pitching is so far ahead of hitting because of the technology, because pitchers in the offseason can go into a lab where they have these units called TrackMan and Rapsodo that they track pitches and essentially tell you down to the RPM how they're spinning, the angle at which they're spinning, how fast they're going to the 10th of a mile per hour. And pitchers going into these labs and designing new pitches to try and get swings and misses and to try and become better pitchers. And hitters just haven't had that thing to even things out. So that's why the batting average in baseball right now is below 240. That's why offense is kind of stagnant at this point. And so baseball is always looking for something to get offense better because fans want to see runs scored.
Okay, so they should let them bang on garbage cans then. And on that note, I guess with everything you're saying, what Aaron Judge is doing right now needs to be
remarkable,
lauded and applauded even more so. And let's talk about the pitching and the exciting pitching that we got to see firsthand. AP Tone has a question for you, Jet.
Yeah, Jet, let's talk about the pitcher, Mr. Vogue, Mr. GQ, Mr. Paul Skeens. We all know Shohei Ohtani, who we just got.
So nasty.
So nasty. He is the face of baseball. Aaron Judge is the face of baseball. But as far as Paul Skeens goes, with the GQ, with the Vogue, I just saw a trailer for about his 4-hour warm-up, which I believe is coming out in a documentary. I think you might even be involved in it. Is he the next face of baseball? And is there even a ceiling for Paul Skeens at this point? And when is he leaving Pittsburgh?
Big night out.
You know what? I hope the answer is not soon.
I agree.
I want to see a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I want to see a fan base like the Pittsburgh Pirates fan base be rewarded and get to see the brilliance that Paul Skeens brings on an every start basis. And the Skeens right now, he's just getting better. Like, that's the terrifying thing for hitters, that this is a guy who throws 6 different pitches, can throw them in any count, in any situation. You see the high fastball there. You saw the slider to Ohtani. I mean, right down the middle there, and Freddie Freeman can't catch up to it. And Paul Skeens right now is finding out the kind of pitcher that he can be. And it was interesting. After that start against the Dodgers, he goes 100, I think 107, 108, 109 pitches. After that game, he talked about, I feel like I can go 140, 150. And I wrote a story about Skeens a couple of weeks back where, I sat down with him during spring training, talked to him for like almost an hour and a half. It was a great conversation. He's a really thoughtful, interesting, intelligent guy. And he was telling me about the conversations that he has with players who he respects and how important it is to try and learn from them. And one of those was Randy Johnson. And Randy Johnson's a guy who would go and throw 140 or 150 pitches in a game. Nowadays, if a guy gets to 120, there's panic. And I personally don't think that's right. I think there are too many restrictions placed on pitchers who are held to a standard of average when they are exceptional. Paul Skeens' body might actually be built to handle 120 plus pitches regularly. But because of the fear of injury, I don't think we're ever going to get to find out whether that is a reality for him. And that's the problem right now with pitchers. Front offices are scared of the elbow. Front offices are scared of the shoulder. They're scared that these incredible assets that they have that bring so much value to their team are just going to get run over like pitchers of generations past. But we have so much more knowledge right now that I think if the training is proper, if the pitcher understands what his body is capable of doing, maybe we need to listen to him rather than hold him to some strictures that are put in place because we're obsessed with round numbers. Like, if a guy gets to 100 pitches, it's not necessarily a danger zone if the guy is conditioned to throw 100 plus pitches.
I love everything you're saying right now because we are a analytics are good show, but they're not necessarily the final boss or final call on everything show, which I think is the right place to be. And I know you wrote a book, I believe you wrote a book about kids and how much they're throwing. And whenever you talk about restrictions, professionals, yes, obviously got to have the conversation, but we need to put restrictions on the younger kids because the kids, as they're growing up through baseball, they're the ones that are putting so much damage on their elbows and on their arms through wasted reps almost whenever they're growing up. We know, because he's been on the program and told us, and I think you've obviously reported this numerous times, Paul Skeens didn't start pitching until, high school or something like that. He was a catcher. He didn't start pitching until late. So his arm is literally kind of young in the entire pitcher baseball world, no matter where he's at. So it's like you look at how big he is. You look at the history of his arm. Obviously, you would think this guy could go. If he wanted to go, you should let him go. They're saving him for years? They want him to be able to throw for years? What would a successful career look like for Paul Skeens if the saving him for the future worked? Them saving him for the future. How many years is that of Paul Skeens as Paul Skeens in the MLB?
Pat, the problem is that there's a fallacy that the less a guy throws, the healthier he's going to stay. That has not proven true over time. And so it's why we need to look at the individual and what he can bring as opposed to the history of, all of the arms that are in graveyards everywhere. I mean, we go back and look at guys who were like Paul Skeens, Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, for example, with the Chicago Cubs. They were supposed to be the ones who led the Cubs to glory. They got overused. They got hurt. Didn't work out for them. Their careers were cut short accordingly. But this is, I feel like you got to give some autonomy to the players. And if Paul Skeens wants to go more, then let him go. This is his career. And I get why teams are hesitant. It's just not backed up by any data or any science. And that's the frustrating part about this. Paul Skeens is the scary part with him is that he throws really hard. And there's an extreme correlation between hard throwers and elbow injuries. It almost feels like an inevitability with some guys, but there are outliers. And for me, what does a successful Paul Skeens career look like? It's not so much the number of years he throws. It's not the number of strikeouts he has. It's not any of those counting stats. It's does he stay healthy or does he not? Because if he stays healthy, Pat, he is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's how good he is. But it's just a matter of trying to keep him healthy as best you can. And the reality is, I wrote a book called The Arm. I spent 4 years studying this, researching it, trying to crack it. And unfortunately, at the end, it was a dissatisfying conclusion. I didn't know a whole lot more than I did when I started reporting the book. There's nothing out there at this point that anyone knows that for certain is going to keep pitchers healthy.
You're saying situations are situational, and
that I am.
Human bodies are maybe constructed differently, and elbows,
every single one of them,
are a little bit different in ligaments and torque and tear, and it's more so if it's going to happen, it's going to happen type thing, as opposed to hey, let's only let him pitch 60 times tonight because he might have to pitch again in the future. And we talked to Randy Johnson, I believe, and CC, I believe, and both of them were like, I didn't want to give up the ball because, like, just competitor too. Like, who am I giving this ball to? You know, Paul has that. Oh, yeah. Like, Paul definitely has that. So I'm excited for him to hopefully get a chance to experience that. And you said you hope he's at the Pittsburgh Pirates long term, man. It's like, we all know, dude. The whole arena knew at Big Night Out. The whole arena knew. Everybody in there knew. And unless that happens, we got no shot, brother. We got no. And then Michael Cole comes out and goes, you need to get a real owner like Steve Cohen up in New York, and everybody boos him. But it's like, yeah, that would be what it would have to take to keep Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh. What, 3 years from now? When's he due to make a decision? 2 years?
Oh, the Pirates still have him under control for a while because he didn't start with them in the big leagues last year. Now, he won Rookie of the Year, which gave him a full year of service, right? So after this season, he's going to have 2 full years of service. You get free agency after 6 years. So after this year, they've got another 4 years left. But generally speaking, if you don't feel like you can sign a guy long term, you're probably going to trade him after that 4th season, just to try and maximize the value. You know, it's the difference between a 1 year rental and a guy that you've got for a couple of years. I hate talking about this though. We should not be having this conversation. I know. Baseball should not be the sport where a star gets built up in a small market and it feels like an inevitability that he's going to go somewhere else. And it's not always the case. I live in Kansas City. Bobby Witt Jr. signed an 11-year, $288 million contract to stay in Kansas City. Why? Because John Sherman, the owner, stepped up and said, we are going to pay you what you're worth. And frankly, the fact that the Pirates have not done that with Paul Skeens yet, and there's no sign that they have any intention to do that, it's a shame. It really is.
Nothing difference, baby.
Well, nothing has learned of our program, I have been told.
Oh, has he?
I guess. I don't know. There was conversations
Is he
about...
a big fan?
Yeah.
I don't think he likes it.
Yeah, I know. He loves it.
Well, normally, he just reads newspapers normally. So.
We talk about the Pirates.
Pretty fair.
We talk about the Pirates.
Well, that's the thing about Skeens, too, right? Is like CC and Randy, like at least when he passes the ball on, they're not like blowing his starts or anything.
Bingo. Yeah, that bullpen, he knows what's coming.
Scoreless
What's
9 all against the Dodgers. So.
Oh, you tell me maybe the Pirates bullpen is hot right now.
That was the only game they won, though, right?
Yeah, I think
in that series,
The Dodgers are a good team.
They are.
They are. Dodgers
No
are good
doubt.
team. I saw a payroll tweet. The Miami Marlins.
Yep.
$40 million. Is that the number?
We fucking stink.
Sounds about right.
$69 million. $476 million for the Dodgers. $69 million for the Marlins.
What are we doing? Rockies might be $40 million.
That's why.
No, I'll tell you what, the Rockies are playing like a $40 million team, but they actually are spending, I think, $128 this year.
Okay.
Like the Rockies spend money, they just don't spend it well.
How's that even?
So the Rockies are on pace to be very, very, very historically terrible, right?
Worst ever.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. Last year, we saw the most futile team in Major League history, the Chicago White Sox, lose a record 121 games. Their reign as the worst team in history might last 1 year.
All right, Colorado, go get it. Go get it, Rockies.
It's a beautiful ballpark.
The farmer's hands.
It's rough.
You might as well just be the worst instead of second to worst. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody's just going 4-24.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That has to be a miserable place out there in the Rockies. What is that, 50-cent tickets on SeatGeek?
Probably. Yeah.
Larry Walker can't be.
No, you know what though? I give credit to Rockies fans. They still show up, man. They're still putting 30,000+ people into that ballpark.
How much? How many?
Yeah, 30,000+ a night.
There's no way.
That ballpark is beautiful. Unbelievable
It's a gorgeous park.
Yeah. 30,000 people are going to Rockies games. They're 4-24.
Yeah, I mean, dollar tickets to drink ice cold beers at Mile High.
Yeah, right now
Worst thing you
they're
can do for
averaging
time.
31,000.
Mountains are blue, brother.
Yeah, Coors Light Stadium, right? Isn't it?
Shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek, the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. Right now, you use PAT30. That is PAT30 to get $30 off any type of ticket, whether it's for the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, concerts, comedy, maybe a Rockies game to celebrate the beautiful city of Denver and watch a team definitely lose. 4-24, historically terrible start. You can get a ticket to get in, $14.
It's also BOGO hot dog night tonight.
That's a big one. Buy one, get one. And they might even add in an extra one just because you came to watch the 4-24 Rockies. Now, I will say that $14 ticket you cannot utilize, or the $16 or the $19 or the $17 ones. You cannot utilize the code PAT, the number 3, the number 0, PAT30 for $30 off any of the tickets. Restrictions do apply. Like, for instance, if the ticket costs less than $30, it could be new or repeat purchaser with our friends at SeatGeek. Over 30 million downloads now.
Wow.
They're at 28 million.
About time.
That's good growth. Good growth out of SeatGeek.
Can you get Savannah Banana tickets on there?
81,000 down there at Clemson and watch the Bananas do their thing.
Watch them before the Rockies.
I saw it. I think I would too.
And the Pirates.
Unless
and the rest. Unless.
I saw it. Did you see his second at bat? Hit it the length of a football field. Outfielder has it, punches it up in the sky with the glove, takes off the hat, catches the ball in the hat, flips it up, puts it in his hand, throws it back. They're the real deal.
It's entertaining baseball.
That's in front of 81,000 plus. That's the first inning.
Wow.
Think about the moxie. Think about the moxie on that.
Showman.
Jet hates
Impressive.
Absolute showman. Have you been to Savannah Bananas? And are any of them going to get signed to the MLB before playoffs?
They better.
No.
Sky.
What?
Still Sky.
No. It's still Sky.
Still
No.
Sky throws.
They are, I believe, for the most part, like they were good college players, but if they were great, they would probably be with an organization.
Okay, so what is the baseball thoughts of the Savannah Banana business? Because I'll say this, great business. 81,000 people watching them play baseball.
Pat, if anybody inside of the baseball industry is hating on the Savannah Bananas, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Just because it's not Major League Baseball, just because it's not, playing to win necessarily, doesn't mean it's not great. They're not packing stadiums if it's not fun and if people don't love it. And frankly, anything that brings people to baseball, even if it's a different brand of baseball or a different style of baseball, I'm all for it. Love what the Bananas are doing and love the passion that they have from their fans. I mean, it's impressive what they do and the way that they are able to pack these big league ballparks and, in some cases, football stadiums.
Well, in this case, Clemson, 81,000, so many people. That's their biggest house that they've had thus far. Is this it? No, this is the top of the ninth.
Do these umps get called up? This ump behind the plate's
That's
got
a big out.
boxing.
That's a huge out right there in the top of the ninth. What a play. What a play up there, row 25.
Yeah.
Legit, you can't be hitting that foul ball into a place where it looks like there's some athletes out there. Snag, how you doing? That's an out. See ya.
They're definitely playing to win.
Yes. You think Spawn wants to lose?
The party animals are.
Yeah.
Party animals don't screw around.
No, the Bananas are playing to win. This is the top of the ninth.
Do they switch teams? They're always on the same team.
Always on the same team.
You think Hosley's going to put on a party animals jersey? Dude?
What a bitch. What was that right there? That was curveball.
Slider.
Yeah, a little slide piece.
What was that?
Another slider.
Oh.
Okay, so this is his pitch. The slider is his pitch.
He's junk baller.
He's feeling it.
He was college pitcher that probably did well, but wasn't MLB speed. Three straight pitch.
sliders.
Wow.
I mean,
Nasty.
What a dog.
We have the hat catch, too, from the outfielder. I mean, this is the second at bat. You think about maybe a little nerves.
Sure.
A little bit of, oh, no, I don't want to mess up. This guy's backpedaling in the middle of the sun in front of 81,000.
Oh,
Big shot. Big shot. Length of the football field. Couldn't hit in a worse spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Drop the sunglasses. Who cares? Get the ball out of here.
Cape Guy.
Wearing a cape.
Superman?
Cape Guy hit a bomb earlier in the game, too. Or
Cape
late in
Guy's
the game,
moxie
sorry.
is ridiculous.
Why didn't he aim that to left field?
What a play.
That was the second pitch. Second pitch of the night.
Dude.
Dog.
Hit it to left field.
I do love the exceptionally short porch in left field.
Yeah.
Oh, the short porch over there?
Righty's in a good spot there, huh?
Yeah, big
Football
time.
fields. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Phil Oppo.
Who's winning the World Series?
Red Sox.
Not the Red Sox.
Come on.
But the American League is wide open right
Of course.
now. And Connor, can I say something?
They're doing it.
Connor, you look good today, man. I'm digging the jersey.
I sound so bad. But thank you.
You might sound bad, but it's a good look for you right
Thanks,
now.
brother.
And look, the Sox are playing some ball this year. Christian Campbell is the real deal. Alex Bregman has been absolutely fantastic. They need some pitching, but I agree with those odds. To me right now, it's still the Dodgers. And look, they are banged up. Blake Snell, $182 million signing. On the injured list right now. Tyler Glasnow signed a $136.5 million extension when he got traded there. On the injured list now. Ohtani, still not pitching. You know, they've got Yamamoto in their rotation, Roki Sasaki and Dustin May. But this is what the Dodgers do, Pat. They value depth so much to the point where they have Tony Gonsolin, who hasn't pitched since 2023 because of an injury, finally coming back this week. They have Ben Kasparius, a guy who was in the bullpen, up to 99 when coming in after Tyler Glasnow came out of the game. And he could be in the rotation. They could go with Landon Knack. They could go with Justin Rubelski. They've just got so much depth that even when they have a dozen pitchers on the injured list, they still have guys who are better than most teams' pitchers. And it's that depth, I think, that at the end of the day is going to carry the Dodgers.
No Pirates on her.
I thought that's on bottom right.
We got it's Padres. I had to look twice too.
Pirates beat the Pirates. Fucking just dominate the Dodgers though. So
Beat the Dodgers. Run through the Cubs, no problem.
Cubs have actually had quite the start.
Yeah, wait till they see the Paul Skeens training the Hundo boys. Yeah. You know, they're hanging. And Kutch is getting after it.
Big pitchers duel tonight, actually. Mikey Minaga against Andrew Heaney.
And that's the teams they play for are
Buccos and the Cubs. Heaney's actually got a 1.9 ERA right now.
We're playing the Cubs tonight.
Yeah.
We got Skeens game 3 there.
Heaney's fucking been dealing, dude.
Hey, Skeens has the Cubs number. That's one of the only teams he got to play twice last year, I think, if I recall from talking to Paul Skeens. He got to play he got to play the Cubs twice because it was one of the first series he had whenever he got in. Then he had you guys late. And he talked about how he remembered how batters were the second time that he got a chance to go against him. That's why whenever he's taking on Shohei, I don't know if that's the first time he's taking on Shohei, but like Paul Skeens is like calculating in there on Shohei. And I'm assuming he's doing the same thing to Paul. We need them in the offseason just to do a one-on-one.
Who's Shohei and Skeens?
Yeah. Just give him a stadium.
Against you?
They've had a pretty good Shohei took him deep last year. And then he obviously fared much better this year in his first start against
Would they ever both be full go in the offseason? I know their offseason's so short, but would they ever both have a day where it's like, I'm doing a full hitting workout today, and Paul Skeens would be doing a full pitching workout that day?
100% yes.
Paul Skeens, no problem.
Paul Skeens takes off 3 weeks in the offseason and just does nothing. Doesn't touch a weight, nothing like that. 3 weeks down, and then he's back after it.
We're doing
that. And so, yeah. Got to make that happen, man.
In Japan.
100 pitches. It'll be, I don't know, what is the normal workout? How many pitches does he normally do?
It depends if he's throwing a bullpen. Like a typical bullpen session's like 30, 35 pitches.
Boom.
But if he's working on something, you know,
give him a metal bat, too.
Shohei gets a metal bat.
But and Skeens will be behind the net, and Skeens will pitch behind the net.
Age, I like where we're at in the brainstorm. I don't want to bring an umbrella, but let's make sure we're letting the boys be the boys here.
Let's get a gorilla out there too.
Okay. Jet,
okay.
How do you feel?
Beat him.
How do you feel, Jet, about the gorilla?
We could add the gorilla. Sure, why not?
You don't know.
He doesn't know.
Jet don't know.
No, I don't know. What's the gorilla?
Well, it's got a problem. It's 100 dudes, from my perspective.
Oh! The 100 guys versus the one gorilla.
Yeah.
Oh, the gorilla loses against the 100.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
You get it.
Yeah.
Gets it.
Us on three. Humans. 1, 2, 3.
Humans.
Humans.
To be clear, I didn't know what to say. All right, we appreciate you, man, ladies and gentlemen. Senior baseball insider for ESPN and pundit, Jet Passan.
Jet.
I like when we talk baseball with Jet. Get like my update, know what's going on.
Get your dose.
Check in quarterly. If I just so happen to be scrolling or see something on late night, the Yankees are playing. Sweet. Aaron Judge is batting better than any human in history of baseball at any level. He's got T-ball like average right now, batting in the big leagues when everybody else stinks because the pitchers are so good. Maybe I should check out a Yankees game. We're at a different part of the order, though. Aaron Judge isn't hitting for 2 more fucking hours. That is what it feels like.
Yeah, sometimes.
That is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? If you accidentally get there right after he went, like, all right, I guess I got another hour and a half until the big
It's kind of a break in baseball right now, though. You have your opening few weeks where we're all super excited. Then the NBA and NHL have their playoffs, and then baseball season kicks back.
Yeah.
Tonight, big night for both leagues, actually. Conman, go ahead.
Yeah, huge for NBA. It's kind of the 3-1 night. The Pacers can close out the Bucks. That's at 6. The Knicks can close out the Pistons. Celtics can close out the Magic. And then Clippers Nuggets 2-2, kind of the game of the night. And, of course, it starts at 10 o'clock, so probably see most of that game tomorrow. But Bucks Pacers, Magic Celtics on NBA TV, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, they had 4 or 5, and had a chance to be on late night the other night, and it was fun to watch.
Yep.
Pacers are electrifying whenever they get onto national television, hopefully after this series. You should check them out.
Yeah, they have to win, too, because the Cavs already won. They're already through. Kind of get some rest and make sure the Cavs don't rest too much. Same for the Pistons, Knicks, and Celtics Magic, because winner of those 2 series play each other.
Jalen Brunson healthy?
Never.
Who knows?
Well, is he playing?
Yeah. He's definitely playing. It's just he'll get banged up, and then he'll get a new ankle in the locker room, and then he'll be fine.
Jalen's a dog. Jalen Brunson is a dog.
Big body Brunson.
That Knicks
Hey, that Warriors game was legit. Sorry, that Warriors game last night, I didn't plan on it. I stayed up through the whole thing, watched it all because I was hoping I'd see like a bench clearing brawl eventually. This game was very chippy all night. It was awesome.
I love that Houston and Golden State are getting going, and I think Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green on the same team. We assume it'll get chippy.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. I mean, they play. Steph has to work so hard. Steph has every guy in the arena guarding him every single play. Like, it's unreal how much this guy has to get to work just to get open.
His cardio is a part that doesn't get talked about a lot, and I love the atmosphere. I like the NBA playoff games whenever they're good.
Yeah.
I don't love when the Miami Heat are playing playoffs.
Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. They got out the way for the Panthers.
Yeah,
good on them.
What's going on down there? Pat Riley don't know bull.
He's out of town, apparently.
It's over.
Rouse, you got to figure it out. Got a lot to figure out.
You guys are moving on from Riley?
Need a big. No. I think he's earned the right to step away when he's ready to step away.
And he's building a new team because I think Bam said there are a lot of new faces.
Yeah, he said he knows how the guy with the white hair operates, so he expects a ton of changes this offseason. There are some big fish potentially out there. Greek Freak, KD. So hopefully
Luke Garza.
Is he available?
They're not letting him.
I mean, no, but if you guys put together a decent package
I
for
don't
him, I'm sure you might be able to
We
bite.
have 25 the other night against Lakers.
We can't give up enough to get him.
I'll tell you, that Lakers team got to be exhausted.
Yeah.
How many games in a season?
82.
Okay, so we got those done. Everybody's tired, I assume.
Sure.
Beat up, joints. We got a lot of ice packs wrapped around knees and ankles and everything like that. Traveling too, overnights, back-to-backs, different cities.
Luke had to move.
Mid-season, had to find a place. Los Angeles, brand new spot.
Moving stinks.
And then you get into the playoffs, it's like, hey, everything's
Bron's 40.
40 plus years old.
Yeah.
You know who else played the entire second half?
Who's that?
And Edwards. He didn't look tired.
He should.
He didn't. He looked awesome.
He's a young boy.
He is fun to watch.
Yeah.
He is very fun to watch. I hope they become like a very good team too.
Yeah.
Just because Ant is He's old school. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He is an old school player and does not care. Like, that is who he is. There's clips of him talking to President Obama, telling him he needs to recognize basically what's going on here in front of him. I mean, it is an awesome amount of confidence, cockiness, arrogance, and then showing up. And that's good for the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
That is good for the NBA. All characters welcome, especially if you're going to be great at what you do. I'm worried about the Lakers. I'm worried about them. I think this one's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, they better start hot.
And I think they could.
Could.
You're a hater, though.
Reeves got
Foxy,
I am.
Tons notoriously.
Yeah, if any of these teams that are down 3-1 could come back, it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers.
There
We
you
all
go.
know LeBron's going to be the one that's going to do it.
What's going on with the Pistons, Knicks? You guys still mad?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're over it at this point. We're in New York tonight, so let's assume that these refs are going to close it out. Gentlemen sweep. But, I mean, the Pistons, they're the youngest team in the league. Cade Cunningham, young superstar. They'll be okay next year, and then they'll get better and better and better.
Why is he so down?
And why do you say the refs are going to win the game tonight?
I'm okay
Doesn't sound like
because
Foxy.
the Pistons last year won 14 games. They're the first team in NBA
Usually
history
happy.
to triple their wins in a season. So this season was a bit of a surprise to everyone. So they made it to the dance. They've learned some lessons, and we're just going to build on this one.
This is the Lions of a few years ago.
Bingo, exactly. So
Now this is the expectation of the Pistons.
yes, exactly.
You guys had a coach, you paid the coach, the most money in the history, moved on from the coach, and now you're in the playoffs?
Yeah, we're in the playoffs, and we actually hired the Cavs' old coach, and so he's done a fantastic job. And then it's weird because the Cavs hire a new coach, and they've done a fantastic job.
guy's
So
a sicko.
NBA is just weird.
So you guys just fight people, right?
Yeah, we're back to the bad boys Pistons, the 04 Pistons, and now we got this new generation of fighters. And this has been a big problem in the series. Beef Stew, our fiercest guy, has been out the whole time with injuries. So we need him back.
Need beef stew.
Yeah, exactly.
Need beef stew. How about Knicks fans, though? Are there any Knicks fans back there? How do you feel about the toughness your team has shown fighting the mighty, mighty Detroit Pistons?
No, it was a great test to sort of survive the physicality. The Knicks are sort of at a different place in their build. Obviously, they were third this year, 51 wins. That's great. But didn't really have a signature win. So going into the playoffs, it was hard to really believe that we were a true bona fide contender that could take down the Celtics or the Cavaliers in 7 games. But no, I mean, Brunson is an elite playoff riser. He is the clutchest player in the NBA. And, behind him, anything's possible. If you're down 12 in the fourth and he just rattles off 8 straight, you're back in every game.
Yeah, but what about the refs on your guys' side? Foxy's been telling me the refs are on your guys' side.
You still have that clip, Foxy?
Yeah, actually, I think I do.
Yeah, pod that up. So...
Pod that up, please.
Yeah, on the rebound, you'll actually see Tobias Harris foul Josh Hart and then step out of bounds before passing the ball to Tim Hardaway. So if we want to,
I'm excited to see this new footage.
If we want to go back through it,
that's the footage, Bruce.
Foul, out of bounds. He's out of bounds and passes the ball to Hardaway.
Let me
out
just reiterate. This goes back to the Mickey Mouse New Yorkers that are not.
Hold on, Foxy. Go back. Go back, Bruce. You're saying it should have been blown down.
Josh Hart's fouled.
Go box.
Where?
That box out was
right there,
weak.
and then Harris is out of bounds.
Come
Ball
on, they're
goes
not
to
calling
Hardaway.
that.
There's got to be a better.
That was a
They're
double-handed
not
shove
calling that.
underneath. I don't know if they'd call it. And then you're saying he's
Playoff.
touching ball while sitting out of bounds.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about missed calls, so you could go back and say they were probably calls.
That's not a foul.
This is what we're dealing with right now, boys. This is exactly what we've been dealing with. Bruce said that if the refs were normal, if they were just straight up, and keep in mind, the Pistons got screwed, but if the refs were normal, that the Knicks would have won every game by 30 points.
Yeah.
I love the
Makes
fact
no sense.
that coaches are saying it's bullshit. I think JJ came out and said it. I think other teams' coaches have come out and said it. The NBA is currently in the middle of people kind of being done not saying that these refs are making some decisions. LeBron came out, thought the hand was the ball. I don't know. You tell me, I thought the hand was the ball. They said, well, the thumb is technically a part of the wrist up at the top of it.
Yeah.
When does wrist become hand and hand become wrist?
That's new to me. I've been using that hand part of the ball for 30 plus years
Forever.
at LA Fitness.
Hand's part of the ball.
It's part of the ball, bro.
I hate to break to you. Well, you hit me right here on my wrist. Well,
Touching the ball.
your hands touch your wrist, so if I got you in a forearm, I'd understand what you're saying. But wrist kind of is the transition process into hand there.
Sorry.
That was a big call.
Huge.
This was a huge. Lakers getting ball going out.
Yeah.
Instead, Lakers getting ball down 3 after Ant makes 2 shots. They would have been down 1. All we need is a layup. And let's assume that guy at the bottom, 77, would have made something. He is So good at basketball.
Still not.
Defensive side, people don't give them a lot of positive vibes.
Oh,
They're
boy.
playing the whole half.
Exactly.
Bingo.
They're playing the whole half. What do you want them to smack the wood?
Make excuses for him, sure.
Yeah.
77?
Yeah, or anybody that doesn't play on the other side of the court.
There was a couple times he said, I'm not going to stop this guy anyways. If I was to try.
That's really good.
Good move, dude. Just kind of going around.
You live with that if he hits a three at the other end of the court.
If he's going to score 40, it's all good.
Exactly.
And if you're expecting him to play the entire half, every once in a while there's going to be all right, yep, okay, let's go.
Help.
It's also just a group of people itching to say that Nico Collins might have been right.
It's not his name. I got this wrong a couple weeks ago.
It's his name to me.
I messed it up as well.
What is it?
Nico Harrison.
Yeah, whatever. He was wrong. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We won't. You could have got 9 first-round picks for Luka.
If you
Mikal
let
Bridges went for what, Bruce? 5 first?
Rudy Gobert went.
Rudy
for
did.
Yeah,
first,
you could have got 9 first-round picks for Luka.
We don't know.
The only people that
You
knew
could have
about
got more than you got.
the only people that knew about it were Shawms.
Yeah.
If they would have told other people that it was potentially available.
Maybe shopped it.
Don't do this.
No, not don't do this, but also somebody would have came around. What are they giving you, Anthony Davidson, huh?
Shit, we'll trade our whole team for him.
You got a percentage of the.
Yeah.
You guys own 2 teams now. Congratulations. Down 3-1. Luka and LeBron come back in the first round.
Plus 1,100.
Come on.
Wait a minute. AJ, what do you think?
I wouldn't count him out. That's for sure. I'll be watching.
He will be watching.
He'll be tuned in.
I've watched more basketball than I have definitely in the last 5 years. I've watched more recently. It's been legit fun, even if I don't really care about the 2 teams playing.
Yeah, it's just on. There's nothing. What is on? It is on. So I start watching.
They play hard, man. Like these dudes play super hard, super physical.
And there's going to be a highlight at some point in the first 30 seconds of me watching. There's going to be something that'll captivate me. And then it's not bad for background, too. If you're scrolling or doing anything else in your life, good sound. Whenever there's obviously something big, good replays coming, you can check it. It has been a good watch, I agree. Late night, though. Late. They've been playing late.
I mean, the only good game tonight's at 10. And I say
Those
that
Clippers
all the
Nuggets
are good,
games have been
Pistons
unbelievable.
Might be good.
Clippers Nuggets tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT and True TV, the home of Impractical Jokers and Lizard Lick Towing.
Yeah.
Both good shows.
Joker's
going on
No, they brought it too hard.
Okay.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
The Impractical Jokers were on every single 30 minutes on True TV, I think they're from.
Yeah.
And then what was the Lizard Lick Towing? They had their run?
Yep.
And then there was, what else was over there?
They do a lot of
Wasn't J-Lo part of this show? Or she produced it or something?
Lizard Lick?
Potentially, she knew stars. She knew stars immediately. If she had,
I think she was.
She had a golden eye for talent. I think she would have wanted to get on board with this for sure. Was Live PD on True TV? Live PD had a little bit of a run. It was in my neighborhood where I used to live.
Is What Would You Do going on it, Jenna?
Sorry, what?
What Would You Do is on ABC. That's a great show.
Okay.
That was a great show.
I like those shows.
Hey, that's real scene in there.
Yeah.
There's some real. They put some people in some real pickles. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's see what type of human you are, real quick. 45 cameras.
You're the bad human. If you end up being the bad human and not, doing the right thing, don't sign that waiver. Don't let them show that. Don't let them air that episode.
Yeah, let them blur your face if they have to.
Yeah.
You need to survive that one. Yeah, I mean that is a what a spot, but also good human.
Yeah.
A lot of good humans on there. Mm-hmm. Does bring you a little bit of hope. What was I watching last night? There was something. Braun Breaker spearing Sami Zayn in half.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. Poor Sammy.
So painful.
Yeah, makes you feel good.
Sammy could have just went to SmackDown, got a chance at the title.
Could have.
He said, "No, I'm not running from anything. Respect."
Yeah.
Teach him a lesson.
I think Braun could go one-on-one.
With the gorilla?
Yeah.
I thought about that last night when I seen him. I'm like, what if we got 40 of him?
Yep.
Yeah.
There aren't 40 of him.
Right.
Big Papa Pump offered me some help for my match against Gunther.
I would take it.
I want to let him know I don't think I got enough time, Big Papa Pump, for whatever you be able to. I mean, maybe mentally you'd be able to. Yeah, any information, any tips available, Big Papa Pump, I would love.
Strategy.
Love strategy, thoughts, ideas. Would
Vitamins.
love it. Vitamins, yes, sir.
Bud.
Shout out. All right. What a day today. Tomorrow's a big one, too. More GMs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Huge day.
More GMs tomorrow. AJ, we'll actually say hashtag Ooh. Because you can't really do the apostrophe there. Who will it be?
Yeah.
In the hashtag.
Who will it be?
Any clues? We gonna give any clues?
General managers.
Of football teams.
Yeah. Any other clues?
That's a good call.
We've said too much.
Are they tenured? Are they young? Are they old?
See, now you're doing the whole mustache.
What's it rhyme with?
Huh?
What's it rhyme with? Their name, their last name.
We're not doing it.
Boner.
Lanager.
Boner?
It's 2 GMs that weren't today's GMs. Hashtag who will they be? Get them both right?
Ooh.
You want some free merch?
Boom.
A Subway gift card from me.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Hey,
Sweet in the pot.
Okay.
Slow down.
Just got one last week for Easter.
It's got 50 cents on it.
Could not wait to regift that. This is his first opportunity he saw to regift that thing.
Yep.
Boom.
Boom.
Love some.
Some free merch and a Subway gift card.
Wow.
That's at least $30, so 25, $30.
Wow. You might have used it.
$25, yeah, all right. Okay. 25 Subway. Yeah, have you used any of it?
No.
Don't lie.
Wow.
Because they don't have $5 footlongs anymore.
No,
They don't,
They
no.
have completely changed
Thing of
their
the past.
business model, which I don't love.
Well,
They kind of had to.
All right.
They had to pivot.
Yes,
Had
they
to pivot.
did. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. Hashtag who will they be? If you get both of the general managers correctly, you will be automatically put into a pile of people to be randomly selected to win some of our merch. And one lucky winner, randomly selected, will win a Subway gift card from our friend, one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys AP Tone. You all are the greatest people on earth. Thank you for allowing us to do this for a living. AJ, great work today. Boys in the back, great work. Toxic table, yeah. Way to battle. Way to keep battling over
you
there.
too.
Battle.
Tone, good job today.
Thanks, you too.
Look at you showcasing, the philanthropical side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Philanthropic Tone. Donating back a gift
What we
that you
do.
got just a week ago.
I was inspired by your promo last night talking about how much you give back. So
There we go.
Oh, you don't see it every day, but getting yelled at you.
that was cool seeing those lacrosse kids.
So
Thank
cool.
you for that. That was awesome.
How sweet was that?
That was dope.
That was really cool. That got me choked up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. No problem. Lucky to do it. Now, Pat Cavanaugh, obviously a little bit of slice of dice, and
Liam Entenmann. I knew his last name was Entenmann because cookies. I forgot. Liam, I apologize. Like best goalie in the world or whatever the case is. That was an awesome thing to watch.
I see some future dogs with some sticks in their
I'll tell you what, lacrosse is a sport.
shit.
Lacrosse is a sport. Physicality, got to be fast. Obviously, a lot of strategy. I think it bodes well for the American athlete. I think
Great schools, too.
That's why everybody says it could be future sport. Because I think that our country would do good at it if more people played it. Ain't that right, Conrad?
Yeah, no doubt. And it's in the Olympics now. So hopefully that does kind of bring some more eyes, give you more of a path and reason to play.
They all said, thanks, Pat, which was cool. One of them had one microphone and the kid just screamed in it. I like that kid's moms.
Yeah, good move.
He's probably a long sticker.
Probably a captain, yeah.
Yeah, probably got a seal on his chest. No problem at all. Lucky to be a part of it. And yeah, it feels like, if you tell people that you give back, people say, well, you sound like why'd you even give back to begin with? It's like, well, maybe I can inspire other people to want to give back. This is available. You can do this. You can give 600 lacrosse sticks to kids around the city of New York City, and I assume many other places, and hopefully spur a dream or spur an opportunity or introduce a game or a sport that could change a life forever. You can do this. And we're lucky that we get to be a part of so many cool things. And the only reason it is because people like you watch us. And we will see you tomorrow. We got a big one. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.